Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about men who love beef tallow and honestly just how hard it is to be a sapiosexual on the beach.
And also about the Goldens, who frankly deserve the world.
We're back with a 2 episode recap of Bachelor in Paradise season 10. And when we say 2 episodes, we mean 5 hours of Bachelor in Paradise season 10. This is Love Island hours. Like
Well, they were like, we know that Love Island is ending, so we're going to give you just as many hours of Bachelor in Paradise. And I think that that is a personal attack on recappers, a gift to everyone else and a personal attack on us.
I mean, I have to think at this point, even just as an audience member, I would be like, guys, I've got stuff going on. Like, I'm busy, okay? I
Well,
don't
the
have.
network is not busy, Claire, and that is exactly the point of reality television during the summer. They're like, fill all the hours.
They're like, can you recut this week's 2 hour episode to be actually 2 5 hour episodes? And production's like, yes, we actually can do that. We have so much footage. You have no idea. It's just us this week because we have
Too much
a
to
lot to
cover.
cover. So before we get started, if you missed it, be sure to check out our recap of the finale of Love Island USA season 7. And over on Rich Text, we're chatting this week about Celine Song's The Materialist. So we're really looking forward to getting into that. You can find our Rich Text episodes at claireandemma.substack.com.
Okay, let's get into episodes 2 and 3 of the new relaunched Paradise. And I'm going to say, last week, I wasn't sure how I was feeling about the season. This week, after episode 3, especially, I think I'm in it. Like, we're starting to cruise, we're starting to rock and roll. I'm getting invested in the drama. Like, let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
It just took them like 8 hours to find their way into this
Whatever,
season.
whatever. Potato, potato, Claire.
We get a new credit sequence, which is sort of a relief. It sort of seemed like they were going to get rid of the Almost Paradise intro reel each episode, and now that we're into the regular non-premiere episodes, they've broken out the Almost Paradise. It's just a little updated. It's like a modern remix of Almost Paradise. And instead of these corny, like sandy, goofy 70s sitcom intro reels for each of the contestants, it's like a time-lapse video, and then each cast member walks up to the camera on the beach and does like a very small, cute gimmick, like blowing a kiss or like checking their hair in the camera like it's a mirror. Like, it's still lacking for me, like basically all of the charm and kitsch factor and fun of those old intros, but I appreciate that they're gesturing to it, I guess.
It's a nice nod to the roots. I kind of enjoyed it. I was just happy to have some form of Almost Paradise back. I agree it could be goofier. I would be
Yeah.
into it being a little campier, but I don't know. This gave me hope. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
they're doing something. I'm going to roll with it.
they're trying.
Also, the chyrons are back, which huge relief.
Yeah, they've brought back those like cheeky lower thirds that are like commentary on what's going on with the cast members. And we missed those. Now they're just like floating sans serif text in the style of
I'm
the whole
fine with
show.
it.
But yeah, it's the spirit is still there. So it's feeling a little more paradise. And much like the classic paradise feel, the men have the power this week.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. You can never give men power. It's like
Yeah.
always a grave error. They can't be trusted with it. We see this in our politics and we see this on the beach.
Yeah, I think that we should actually, the real way to rework Paradise is to just keep bringing in waves of men, and then the women get to hand out the roses at each.
I agree. I agree. I just think that that would be like a nice salve to where we are in the world.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything I hate to see, it's undeserving men being given power. And like 95% of these men are undeserving of any power.
Yeah, and I think until we truly dismantle the patriarchy, this is kind of the least that we can do to address
Exactly.
the ongoing inequities.
I agree.
So the
Yes, I
vibe
do want to work out all of my frustrations at the inequities of the world via this
well,
show.
and we're not attacking these men yet. We'll get to that later.
No,
It's not an attack. We're just saying they shouldn't get to hand out roses. Is that such a big deal? Like maybe they'll be lucky enough to receive a rose, which would be so nice for them.
it would be so nice.
So the vibe has obviously shifted as soon as the men all wake up and realize that they don't necessarily need to keep paying attention to the woman who gave them a rose because a hot new bombshell could enter paradise at any moment. And so Brian, shocker, is blowing off Zoe. Like,
Brian is like salivating over the idea of new women. He's just like thirsty. He is riding high on his newfound power. He's like, pay attention to a woman who paid me attention. I don't have to. I'm
yeah,
over it. No need to pretend.
yeah. He's like, Zoe has like exited his mind. He's like, I don't know, for some reason, I'm just not so focused on her anymore. At breakfast, they're all sitting at the breakfast bar, and he is just not acknowledging Zoe as they sit next to each other having breakfast. And in fact, has more to say to Jess about how to pronounce boba tea, which he thinks is pronounced bubba tea,
He is incorrect.
like Bubba Gump. Yeah, he's like, I have more to say about that than I do have to say about to Zoe about literally anything in this world.
But here is something he has to say about Zoe to the camera. We have a clip.
With the rose, obviously completely open to exploring other connections.
Zoe and I have had a good connection thus far, but Zoe is a little, I don't want to call it clingy, but kind of, for lack of a better word, a little clingy. It's just early, and like, let's just keep our options open and just enjoy the moment that we're in. And like, I hope she can do that, but we'll see what happens.
I love how he's like, I don't want to call her clingy, but like, there simply isn't another word I could use. So I guess I just have to call her clingy. I don't have any option here.
I like that women are clingy if they show any interest, and Brian in this moment decides he actually doesn't want to engage with that interest. Now she's clingy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like when a woman is clingy, it's when she wants to be acknowledged as a person in any way by the person that she's dating. Like if you
I
want him to notice you when he's not feeling like noticing you, that's pretty needy if you think about it.
I truly hate Brian.
She should be so independent that she like doesn't even notice whether the guy she's dating has said good morning to her while sitting 2 feet away from her at breakfast.
But honestly, really only Justin and Spencer seem to be like not 100% ready and excited to jump ship from their connections. All the
I
other
mean,
men are like, power, more ladies.
I mean, look, it's really early. Like, I think it's totally fine to want to explore other connections. I don't think it's, in fact, it's good. The show requires it, right?
You're
If
right.
everyone was Spencer or Justin,
It
then
would be
we'd be
boring.
asleep. But there is a way to sort of communicate with the person that you've been dating and not to kind of send a signal that you want to explore by pretending that that person no longer exists.
No, I think what's frustrating to me is like the way that they're speaking about women as if they are like interchangeable objects rather than like people that, oh, there might be someone you have a better connection with. Yes, I agree. But like respect the person you've been talking to as a person. And Brian simply
No, he
cannot.
doesn't. I mean, I think we're
Me,
also seeing the like generation of men who are like, in real life, I would ghost this person. And so I'm going
right.
to try to send the same like sort of nonverbal cue that I'm not interested anymore. Like, I can't not send a text, but maybe I just won't say good morning at breakfast. And then she'll just pick up on that and she'll give me space.
IRL ghosting. Have you tried it? Meanwhile, the women are feeling a little anxious. They know the deal. They know new women are going to arrive. And what do you know? New women are arriving on jet skis. Allie Joe and Parisa. And we simply must play a clip of Parisa's intro.
I'm Parisa, and I'm looking for two things here in paradise: real love and rare critters. I found a spider! You can like literally see its fangs like tucked in. But here, look, that's a tarantula hole. And honestly, men are just like critters. You watch them, you study their patterns, wait for a sign of weakness, then you strike. Species observed: iguanas, check. Tree frogs, check. At least 2 emotionally unavailable men. We're working on it. My mission: capture the rare species. An honest man.
I love her.
I love her so much. Incredible addition. So happy. So happy we get to see her. Unhappy that her prospect is Brian, but you know,
I
a pot
know.
for every kettle, I guess.
A pot for every kettle. Do you mean a lid for every pot? Or is it going to be
Yes,
like a
that's what I
set, a
mean.
pot and
A
a
lid
kettle sitting next to each other? I hope they're more like a pot and a kettle.
A lid for every pot is what I meant. Oh my God.
I
No.
know that Parisa is like sort of a weirdo in her own way, but I do feel like she deserves better than someone whose personality traits are like manosphere and crypto.
Yeah.
And like dropping hip hop singles that use audio samples of Elon Musk saying fuck you to advertisers, which is what he did last week, because he's
I
genuinely looking
shudder.
for love.
I truly shudder every time I think about Brian, see his face. Like, he really represents a type of man that I personally would like to be less exposed to, not
Yeah.
more.
I've kind of engineered my life to almost never encounter someone like Brian
I
in real
know.
life.
They're forcing him upon us.
Exactly. They're shoving him down our throat.
And Parisa is such a delightful, gorgeous weirdo.
Yeah.
She deserves better.
But I think that maybe Parisa sees like the beauty and intrigue in what I see as like threatening and creepy, much like a tarantula. She's like, there's something about this creepy, scary dude that I'm drawn to. Like his fangs are almost sort of beautiful, you know, when you think about it. And then we have Allie Joe, straight out of Jersey, loud, proud, ready to knock some hearts out. I'm Allie Joe, Jewish, Jersey, and a Scorpio.
It was
Did
like,
we know she was
Allie
Jewish?
Joe. No, and this is not the representation our people need in this moment, but whatever.
I remembered her as like the boxing fitness instructor, very
I did remember that
confrontational.
part. She's like a rumble instructor or something.
Yeah, and she's like weightlifting a piece of driftwood on her back and boxing the camera with her gloves on. She's not afraid of confrontation. She's built for the ring, but this time she's looking for a different one. Not a boxing ring, but a wedding ring. Or
I got
engagement
it.
ring.
I got it.
Zoe is already a storm cloud, but then she sees Allie Joe show up, and obviously they had a pretty significant clash during Allie Joe's brief time on Grant's season. And Zoe calls for a shot because it is 12 o'clock, and that's when you get to start taking shots. And then Allie Joe and Parisa get date cards, of course. The Bombshells always get date cards.
That's how it works.
And Zoe calls this, quote, funny and ironic.
I was like, no, not really either of those things. It's just
In what sense?
part of the built-in structure.
There's a high quotient, maybe because there's no Paradise last season and we've lost the cultural thread. High quotient this episode or this Bachelor episodes of people complaining about the format of the show as if it was invented specifically for them
To torture
and
them?
doesn't apply to everyone else. It's like, no, this is not funny and ironic. This is what always happens when a
The
bombshell comes
show.
in. Zoe immediately pulls Parisa and Allie Joe to claim her territory. And she tells them that she and Brian have something. Don't take my man. Just kidding, but not really. I said that too animated. She says it in a very threatening monotone. And Parisa and Allie Joe are just staring at her, clearly thinking like, okay, it's been, first of all, like 2 days. And also, we're not really friends with Zoe. So
And also, there are only about 6 men here.
Right.
I
And it's
The
clear
choices are what they are.
it's clear that Zoe feels that she has to do this because Brian isn't even speaking to her. So she needs to get someone
Also,
to
here's
stop
the
Brian
thing.
from going on another
The
date.
problem isn't that these women are going to take your man. The problem is that your man is running away from you towards these women.
She's like, when he runs toward you, please don't accept him. Turn him away. Tell him, go back home to your wife. Parisa, unfortunately, already wants Brian. And Brian and Parisa sit down, and Brian tells her that he's not sure Zoe's his person. Cue a cinematic montage of Brian and Zoe canoodling a mere 24 hours previously.
So obsessed with the fact that they are finally pulling out the flashback footage. I
Yeah.
really have to give credit to the new showrunner who comes from Summer House. Bravo World knows. Bravo World knows how to use that flashback footage, and we get a bunch of it.
You really need it on BIP because there's so many storylines to keep track of.
And you really need it to hold Brian accountable personally.
Because he honestly is low-key gaslighting nonstop, starting at the beginning of this episode. Allie Jo goes right for Dale, who is really into how high energy, gorgeous, and fit she is. She's sort of like him, but she's a little younger, so she's not as sleepy. They chat while she eats only the filling of some tacos. He tells her that Kat got seasick on their date, and she says, I don't get seasick. Dale, you're a perfect woman. She doesn't get seasick.
I mean, how often is Dale sailing?
I just, the way that she was like upselling him, like, oh, actually, I noticed your last model had a few issues, but this new and
I'm new and
improved model
improved.
doesn't get seasick. So I can't imagine what qualities a person might have that could outweigh the ability to go on boats without getting seasick. Just throwing that out there.
And Kat is just watching all of this go down, and you can see on her face, she's so determined not to crash out.
Yeah, she is tensely watching, but never crashing out so far. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, our first chemistry test of the season.
And we are back, and it's time to talk about the first chemistry test of the season. I just love that they are really workshopping a name for these like activity/challenges. They're like chemistry test.
Well,
What did
they
they call
have-
it last week?
Well, they have too many different things. Last week
Yeah.
wasn't about chemistry, it was about compatibility. So it was a compatibility exercise. This one isn't about compatibility, it's about chemistry.
They
So we
need
have
an umbrella term.
I know. They're like, this season we will have 3 compatibility tests, 2 chemistry tests, and a number of other challenges and tests yet to be revealed to you. Like, there are too many different moving parts. This is when they whip out Wells and Hannah. I guess they needed Hannah so that when they separate the boys and the girls, like in sex ed class in 7th grade, there is a teacher for both groups. Other than that, we like do not see Hannah during this 5-hour stretch. Where is
Useless.
she? Is she just like going to the spa? Is she
You
going
know
jet
what? I
skiing?
hope so.
I hope so too. I hope she's not just sitting in a room waiting to be trotted out. Spencer is worried. He's like, I failed chemistry. And I was like, I think that this also seems like a type of chemistry you will fail. But he plays it right. He does manage to find the chemistry in this test. Jesse then FaceTimes in to tell both groups how this works. There will be a
Jesse's doing so many little skits, and
He's
he
doing
loves it.
so many skits. He's doing like it's getting confusing.
I'm okay with it, actually.
At certain points, I'm like, wait, is this a skit or is this a movie promo or is this part of the show? Like, I don't really
They
understand.
keep you guessing, Claire. That's the point.
He tells them that there will be a kissing booth and they can select who they'd be open to kissing and it will stay completely secret. If you pick each other, you get to go kiss and no one will ever know, except that people can sort of tell because they can piece together based on which singles leave their group in a row who is probably mutually interested in those people and therefore who is probably kissing them on the other side. So it's not like quite as perfectly secret as they're told. How did you feel about this setup? Like I feel like on Love Island, there are a lot more like everyone kisses everyone type of
Yeah.
challenges.
They were trying to take the like charm and fun and sexiness of Love Island, but make it prudish enough for a marriage show like The Bachelor. And I
Yeah.
think it was like a mixed bag. I appreciated that it did facilitate like the audience and the other people seeing who might have a small interest, but like didn't want to step on toes. I like them giving those opportunities. But because it's not everyone just kisses everyone, there are still people like feeling anxious about shooting their shot in that way.
Yeah, I like that there is a consent element. I feel like the forced bed sharing and forced kissing of Love Island makes me anxious. And I wouldn't want as a woman would not want to feel like I had to go make out with a bunch of men I didn't want to kiss.
Totally.
But then it does fall into a bit of the trap where a lot of the women feel like it would be like icky or send the wrong message for them to make out with all the guys. So none of them like swipe right on all the guys. And the men are just trying to shoot their shot with as many people as possible for the
Except for
most
Justin
part.
and Spencer.
Right. So you end up with like actually not that many link ups because the women are being more reserved, but then they read more into the men picking them if it's mutual. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he wanted to kiss me too." And it's like, "Yeah, he wanted to kiss everyone." Which is sort of annoying.
We are treated to some fun moments, like when Jeremy is like, yeah, I'm putting myself out there. And then like only Bailey wants to kiss him.
Yeah, he's like, "This is paradise." He's like spraying breath freshener into his mouth, like waiting for the next woman. And the only person who comes in is a producer to be like, "That's all I got in terms of ladies, but you can have this fist bump for
I'm
me."
obsessed with whatever like crew members that are also actors, or maybe just like actors dressed as crew members that they have doing these little bits throughout. It's great.
Yeah, they're part of the show, and we've been wanting a little more fourth wall breaking from this show, so
I like
I
it.
appreciate it. I also did notice that they were maybe getting a little too much mileage out of it to the point that I started to like count how often they use that sound effect of like the record scratch, like the music grinding to a halt in a comical way. They used it like so many times. I think they used it like twice with the producer coming in just in this challenge for different guys. So Hannah and Wells play their one real role of this week in like frantically urging everyone to make out with as many people as possible. They're like, you never know. Like, unless you make out with a bunch of people, you'll never know. Like, the most unexpected pairings are the ones that work, and you should just like go for it. And the women are like, sure, sure. I'm only going to put the one or two guys I'm interested in. Thanks, Hannah. And
What actually
Jonathan,
like comes out of this that's interesting?
well, Jonathan makes out with a bunch of people. It seems like a lot of people are attracted to Jonathan and are like have him as maybe a second choice.
Yes.
Allie Joe, Parisa, who was chewing gum the whole time, Bailey, and of course Alex, his main interest. They have an incredibly awkward kiss.
Oh my God. I was like, oh, this isn't happening.
No, it really he's like, we had the best kiss. It was so fun.
I was like, did you, John?
Did you? She looks mortified. She's standing there with her eyes closed, smiling, and she's like, I was just waiting there
hated
like a
it,
frog.
Claire. I hated it so much.
I mean, the vibe is we are friends and we don't have enough of a vibe to just sort of naturally be drawn
Bad.
to start kissing each other.
It's really bad.
We're like, should we try this? I guess. Who's going to start? They don't have chemistry.
No, they really don't. Unfortunately.
And then Brian goes and he has been trying to ghost Zoe in the resort, as she has noticed, and yet he does put her down. Why not? I mean,
Well,
it would
he needs to keep his options open. I mean, my
Right.
God.
I mean, it would be weird for him to not put her down before they've broken up, but at the same time, it's weird to have her just show up and for them to make out when they're in this place where he's not talking to her.
Yeah.
And so she comes in and he's like, "How are you doing?" And she's like, "Bad." And he's already pulling her in for a kiss. So she's like,
He's like,
"Bad."
"Okay,
and his
get in,
mouth
get
is on
out."
her.
He's like, oh, I didn't want to actually have a conversation with you. You're very confused.
Right. And then she's sort of like, you've been misbehaving. We'll have to talk. And he's like, okay, bye. He walks out with her and then doubles back and kisses Parisa. Like, he's trying to trick her that he's not kissing anyone
Like,
else.
sir, that's the game. You're actually allowed. Why are you being weird and sneaky?
And to what end? Like, you're already
hate her.
ignoring her. Like, you're not
such a
tricking
dick.
her into thinking that you're only pursuing her when you're not paying any attention to her. So he ends up kissing Parisa as well, and he loves it. Jess and Spencer only kiss each other, and Spencer's like, I feel like we're in a movie, and I love a rom-com. Of course he does.
I'm sure you
Girl's
do.
girl.
I love him.
Jeremy and Bailey have their makeout, and this is when he waits for more women, and they are not forthcoming. Justin and Lexi only kiss each other, and it's also so awkward. They all had a chance to brush teeth. Like, we actually saw a montage of all of them brushing teeth and doing mouthwash, but somehow she was just eating plantains and guac and is so
oh my
nervous.
God, she's so uncomfortable. Poor
Yeah.
Lexi is simply not built for paradise.
I mean, especially this iteration of Paradise. Like, she
Yeah.
clearly wanted a Paradise where she's like the Jade and Tanner or the,
Yeah.
and she just disappears into the background. And even having this like forced makeout with her one interest is too much for her.
She simply cannot.
She needs a hug first. And you can see in Justin's eyes that he's sort of like, oh God, is this going bad already? Like, I thought this was going to be my big redemption tour of paradise. I'm going to be so
And
intentional. I'm
no.
going to choose someone who's really aligned with me. And she doesn't even want to kiss me in this romantic cabana. Dale kisses Alex, who is curious about there being something there that's more than friendship. And he just wants to kiss everyone.
Yeah, Dale's like, this is my time.
And he's like, sure. And so she nervously babbles again. Of course, that's her move. She's like, I just can't be sexy. I can't do it. And he also kisses Kat and Allie Joe. And the way that he talks about everyone that he's interested in, except for Kat, is like, she checks a lot of boxes. I have to look at that, right? It would be wrong for me not to look at that when she checks so many boxes.
But it becomes pretty clear that he's like, has no interest in really like being with anyone other than Kat.
Well,
Like, he
he's
keeps
trying
sort
to-
of being
yeah.
like, maybe I should. I'll explore it. This person's pretty.
He's trying to walk the perfect tightrope of like, he's like, I have my turn with Kat. I hold her a little tighter. I take my time. When they finish up, he's like, we're solid, right? We're solid. But he also wants to make out with every other woman there. He's like, I'm exploring, but I'm also focusing on building a relationship. I'm doing it all. I can have it all. He also kisses Zoe. Again, he wants to kiss everyone, and everyone wants to kiss Dale.
Yeah.
So after this, Zoe pulls Brian for a vibe check, and she's like, you didn't even say hi to me this morning. And he's like, well, I'm grabbing coffee. I'm grabbing breakfast. It's a little critical. You're overanalyzing. He's like, I don't want this.
Man.
This is what I don't want to get into, where you're overanalyzing everything. That's when people start to not get along.
Like, Brian, just say that you are not necessarily feeling it and you need some space. You're ignoring her. Nothing triggers someone more than being ignored. It's so painful.
I know. I was like, yes, certainly criticizing everything someone does is a problem in relationships. You know what else leads people to not get along? When they ignore their partner without any explanation. Like, it's not like this is coming out of nowhere. You were blowing
so
her
bad.
off.
Very obviously, she's not stupid.
And Zoe tells him that she's unfortunately very anxiously attached. I was like, no, don't say that. And then she says she needs communication. I was like, yes, that's valid. You
Fair.
could just be like, I don't mean to be critical, but my expectation from people that I'm getting to know is that they'll communicate with me. And even if they need space, maybe they'll tell me.
You're like, yeah, that seems fair.
Don't tell him you're anxiously attached. It's not anxiously attached for you to expect him to speak to you this morning. That's normal. That's just every attached, except for maybe deeply
people
avoidant.
don't like to be ignored.
I think even avoidant people don't like to be ignored. They like to ignore. That's different.
Exactly.
But she doesn't want to be like Spencer and just be together because it's easy. ouch. Zoe is always just like, people are always catching strays from Zoe.
Well, that's the thing. Zoe, I'm like, you are in the right with Brian. But then she
Yeah.
just does these little jabs to people who like do not deserve it.
It's just a shower of jabs. Like, often people aren't there to hear it, but they are going to see them eventually.
And I'm like, also, Spencer and Jess just seem to like each other. Calm down.
Right. They really like each other. I'm sorry that you don't have that, but this is not their fault. She tells Brian that there are respectful ways to go about it, and she just wants him to tell her if he's pursuing someone else. And she'd prefer for it not to be Parisa. Why? Unclear. Does she have any specific beef with Parisa? Unclear. Is it just because he is the person? She is the
Yes.
person that he is pursuing? I think yes.
Yes.
So you don't
I
want
don't
him to
think she has beef
specifically
with
pursue.
Parisa.
Right. She's like, I just don't want you to pursue the person who is available and mutually interested for you to pursue. So if you could pick someone else, that would be fine. No, you would just shift your distrust to that other person. Parisa interrupts them at this point, and Zoe says, there you go, you got your wish, and walks away.
Damn. Allie Jo, on the other hand, is splitting her time between Jonathan and Dale. She's like, who should I take on my date? It's clear that she's more into Dale, but she ultimately does take Jonathan on the date. I think you observe that maybe she just sees him as a safer bet, and I think that might be correct.
Yeah, I feel like his connection with Alex is palpably like weak enough. He seems more open that people see him as someone they can maybe wedge their way in there with, whereas Dale is just like, Kat's my girl. You seem great also.
And these gals don't have a lot of time to make an impression.
Right,
and
you
as we will
can't-
see, Susie and Jill, who come in after, really don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, you can't waste an opportunity
You
to bond
cannot.
with someone.
So Allie Jo, Jonathan, Parisa, and Brian go on a double date at a bar in town hosted by Wells.
There's so much
Yay.
like fictional backstory for everything this episode. Wells is like, I moonlight here when I'm not working at the resort. I'm like, you could just be like, I'm here to host the date. Like, why are we building out this?
Because that's fun
Universe.
for Wells personally.
Yeah. The couples have it like a game night hosted by Wells, basically. And it starts with Parisa and Allie Jo having to have a twerk off with like Kleenex boxes full of ping pong balls strapped to their butts. And they have to get all the ping pong balls like out of the Kleenex boxes by twerking. And then they have to climb around their dates without touching the ground. This is truly Bachelor in Paradise version of Love Island challenges. Like they're like, let's clean this up. It's gonna be less
It's
wet.
not
It's
as
gonna be less
good.
slimy. The
I'm
twerking
sorry.
is gonna be in like a little a skirt and
Also,
a
these women
classic
cannot
tank
twerk.
instead
They
of
don't
in
have
a
the
string
skills.
instead of in a string bikini. You know, they're just like they're classing it up for us prudes.
I don't need it. I don't need it to be classed up. Go for it or don't.
And Brian is loving it. He's like, I'm vibing on Parisa right now. And they end up making out. Meanwhile, Zoe is back at the resort spiraling to Jeremy and Bailey. And I think at least partially, probably through editing, they are made to seem completely bored and impassive about her dilemma. Like the camera cuts back and forth between Jeremy and Bailey just sitting there looking blank. And then cut to Zoe being like, I'm not overreacting. I'm not. This is weird. It's really messed up. And then cut back to them staring blankly at her. I was like, Bailey is like her bestie. I feel like they are not actually this cold about it. And finally, Jeremy asks if Zoe's done with him. And she says, no.
I mean, she doesn't have any other options, so I really
Right.
can't blame her.
And she
But at
does
this-
later try to pursue some other options. But like, there isn't enough elbow room in this pool. There are only a few guys. A couple of them are pretty locked down. And
Yeah, and
some of them
look,
are just not
Dale
going to
ha-
be your type. So
and
like,
Dale has already rejected her and then rejects her again. It's like,
yeah, it's
you know.
brutal.
It's pretty brutal. But at this moment, a hot new bombshell is entering paradise, and it is our friend Jill. We love her.
I was so excited. She walks in saying, oh God, it's so quiet. And it really is. Like the vibe is bad. It's quiet. It's not a party atmosphere.
I also think she arrived at like like after 10 p.m. in the rain.
Yeah, it's always raining. It's really
A lot
dampening
of rain in
the
Costa
mood.
Rica.
She throws some American flag darts at a love bullseye in her intro package. I was like, wow, this is very patriotic for Jill. She's like, I could find love in a leper colony. I don't even have a type. I care about what's up here because she's a sapiosexual. She's looking for brains. And she's come to the wrong place.
Oh, truly. The pickings are slim.
She does know Justin from Bachelor in Paradise season 8, so they have a nice reunion. He shows her around. She's like walking by the bar. She's like, Wells isn't working. Shocker. I was like, this is changing my Paradise experience for the better so much because I just need a running patter of comedic banter to tie it all together.
Good. It's so good. I just wish that one season they would cast someone even like vaguely worthy of Jill's attentions.
I know. I'm like, there was no one prepared to receive her. Like, what are you doing? So she decides to consult with her friend Justin. I think we have a clip.
Which pony should I hitch my wagon to?
Yeah. Would you want to like hit it off humorously, or would you want to be impressed intellectually? Like, what, you know what I mean?
The whole thing. I'm looking for the
But
whole
if you had to pick one for right now,
regale me. I would like someone to regale me. Give me attention. Someone thinks I'm pretty. Someone thinks I got skinny for this.
yeah.
Oh my God, so much to unpack here. First of all, I love that Justin thinks that she can pick either funny or intellectually impressive out of these men. I don't think that there are like any men who offer any of these qualities in
Certainly
this group.
not intellectually impressive. I just like that he's like, well, we must lower our expectations. Pick one and I'll try.
Pick
I'll
one
try
and
to
I'll
find
see if
him.
that quality is to be had here.
He's in the room with us.
Also, when she says, like, I got skinny for this, I was like, Jill, no, you're beautiful at any size. And I have to say, it actually brought to my attention how skinny this cast is. Like, I've taken my eye off the ball here a little bit, but I was like, even Love Island has more body diversity than this
Yeah.
show. Like,
That is
it's
somehow true.
crazy. Right? It's insane. I'm like kind of irritated actually, now that it's been brought to my attention. Like we can't do better in this franchise, and we can't do better in this franchise with body diversity than Love Island, which is the like, hot skinny influencers make out show. Like this is supposed to just be
Wow.
like
On Love
lovely
Island,
people searching for marriage, and you all have to be like a size 0 to
on
compete.
Love Island, they appreciate a good ass.
They
Okay,
do.
we'll say that for them.
That is true, and that I respect that. She points out that Dale was in a Hallmark movie, and Justin is like, successful. She's like, yes, Oscar worthy.
Deceased. It's
I actually
so
want
good.
I actually want them to date. I feel like that would be so much more fun than whatever Justin and Lexi are doing.
I know. Unfortunately, I just think Justin and Jill are just truly good friends.
I
And what we are
know,
seeing is
but
great friendship.
I want to do a Nicolandria here. I'm like, I ship it. You guys
And
are
then
funny
and
together.
then it becomes, I
I'm
say it and it occurs.
Producers make it happen for me. It's what I want.
Unfortunately, they have already filmed this season.
Yeah.
But Jill's like trying. She's getting out there. She's trying to chat up the men. She's like looking around, asking the crowd, does anyone read here? Anyone? Any readers? And Dale says, I read text messages. And I do believe you, Dale.
We were trying to recall this part of the conversation. I was like, does he say I read tweets? No, even less than that. He does
It was
not seek out
texts.
any textual matter to read outside of literally
He wasn't like,
messages
"I
people have
read-
written.
I read news stories. No.
No, he's not reading Instagram captions. If someone literally writes down a message that he must decipher in order to receive specific information
He
for
will do
him,
it.
he will
He's
do
open.
it. Aside from that, no. And Jeremy is like, I read. So there's that to be said for Jeremy. After these 2 episodes, not a lot else to be said for Jeremy.
I know.
But he does read.
Jeremy, we were rooting for you and you really dropped the ball in these 2 episodes, but I do believe that Jeremy reads.
Well, there's video evidence of it later. Don't worry. I will not be losing sight of the does Jeremy read plotline. Lexi and Justin catch up, and she ends up telling him that she has thought a lot about his past relationship. Like has been like going over and over and over his past relationship in her head, and she's realized that she can't move forward with a romantic connection with him because of it.
I find this so bizarre. We do know now that she was aware that Susie was in the hotel and would be sent in, but I'm just sort of confused about what she was doing. Like, there was no one else really for her to pursue. Justin had been very clear that he was interested in her. I just feel like this completely shot Lexi in the foot.
I mean, this is where we get into the not built for paradise thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is a very unstrategic move. You can do your best to get Justin's rose and then stay open for next week. But to tell him that you want to
Right.
bring things to a screeching halt when you have no other real viable options
You're like,
around, and there will
why?
probably be 3 to 4 women cut tomorrow. Why? Like, what? What's the gambit
Yeah,
here?
it's just stupid.
So, like, if that's the way you're gonna play, I do get frustrated. I'm like, if that's how you're gonna play it when there's any sort of obstacle, then just go home.
You
Like,
just don't go on the show.
this is a game. Like, you have to kind of play the game a little bit.
100%. And Justin is understandably frustrated. Like, what is he supposed to do with this? He's been trying to be super respectful. He's been very locked in on her. And he's just like, okay, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, I feel like you're questioning my intentions. And she's like, no, I just like am anxious about getting to know you because of your status with your ex. And he's like, well, I just think I don't know what you're asking for. And she says, well, I want us both to get to know more people. Like, let's not make assumptions about who might be good for us. Let's just
Lexi,
get
there's
to know
no
people.
one left to get to know.
Right. Like, as Jill later says, like, with fucking who? Like, with fucking who? And they end like kind of on tough terms here because she wants space and he is offended. He's like, I'm not being allowed to kind of say what I feel about this. She's just like making this decision on my behalf. She's questioning whether I can really do this, and I think I can. And it begins to heavily thunderstorm,
So
as
dramatic.
it constantly is. So seeing this conversation unfold, you can like hear the frantic walkie-talkie dispatches from the producers being like, now, send her out now. I know it's raining. Give her an umbrella. This is the moment. And so Susie, under an umbrella, walks through the storm into the resort.
She's just so gorgeous. This woman pops on camera. Lord, I love Susie. I was happy to see her back on our screens.
Everyone loves Susie, including Justin. That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Her intro package is just walking around in a red gingham bikini top and telling us about her troubled Bachelor Nation relationship history. And even in this pre-taped package, her voice breaks a little, even mentioning Justin. And I was like,
these
oh
people
boy,
are so not ready.
I'm sorry. At least Susie is for sure not healed and ready for this, especially if Justin is there, which he is.
And she knows she knows he's going to be there, as she says later. So like it's not a surprise.
Jeremy was hoping to meet Susie. Same. I think we're all hoping to meet Susie.
Yeah. Relatable king.
And Jill is excited to see someone from her season. They catch up a little bit. Jill fills her in on the scoop that she's got, and she's like, everyone has a half boyfriend except Justin and Lexi and Spencer and Jess, who are really locked in. And Susie, despite knowing that Justin would be there, seems really thrown and upset at how this is playing out. She's like, I feel like I'm coming in at this key moment where it seems like I'm going to mess things up for Justin or make it weird for his new relationship. And it's like, well, how did you think this was going to happen, though? Like, how were they going to send you in where that wouldn't be the case?
Maybe she hoped she would come in before him.
Yeah. Nope. And then she and Jill discuss how they're going to be very, demure and dignified about this. They're like, we're too old to be desperate for roses. But they didn't come looking this good just to go home. I think we have a clip of some of how Jill expresses this sentiment.
I hope they send in some men.
Yeah.
I would
Some Chippendales?
love some fresh meat. Love some fresh meat. I'm at that age. I I can't be like for a rose, you know?
No. We aren't doing that for roses.
I just can't.
We won't be.
The way that
Obsessed.
Jill throughout these 2 episodes does this the
slurp.
tongue-lapping slurp to depict being desperate for a rose, to just, like, gobble it up. She's like, "I'm thirsty for the rose," and she just does this slurp.
Wild stuff.
So good.
I love it. Jeremy ends up pulling Susie for a chat, and it seems like, okay, there might be some chemistry there. After this, the double daters return. Brian heads over towards Zoe, and she is cold.
Yeah. And so he just moves on, which pisses her off even more.
Absolute disaster. I was like, guys, just pull the plug on this relationship.
He kind of does, in a sense. He's like, instead of talking to Zoe, I will send a message by going for a sensual night swim with Parisa in front of everyone, during which we will make out in the pool. Again,
not
in front of
good.
everyone. Zoe pulls Dale to try to explore more with him.
And it doesn't go well.
He says what he says in these scenarios, which is, you check so many boxes for me. And he lists them. He's like, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. But Kat is my focus right now. And Zoe's face goes completely blank. And she describes this in the moment as Dale also trying to end things with her.
Things never begun.
Right.
Things never begun with you and Dale.
End things? Like, you kind
End
of have
what,
to
babe?
have a thing going. And so she then ends the conversation annoyed that he doesn't want to explore. And I think that Dale, in fact, was maybe not completely trying to shut things down, but maybe kind of manage her expectations.
Yeah, I think he's saying, like, I am intrigued by you, but I want to be honest in that, like, my energies are primarily focused on Kat. And that I do respect him for that, actually. Like, being honest is what you should do. It's what Brian does not do until forced.
Right. And Zoe is like, oh, I see. You're breaking up with me. Our relationship is at its end. I understand. Well, this is coming completely out of nowhere, but very well. And Dale is focused on Kat because she has a soft heart and she wants to be seen. And that's all you really need in a woman, because women are beautiful to look at and soft and nurturing, So they make out by a pool. Good for them. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, the rest of this batch of episodes.
And we are back. It's time for Justin and Susie to have a chat and catch up. And it immediately gets pretty emotional. It's just clear that there is a lot like hanging between these two. Justin fills Susie in on everything that's been going on with Lexi and how they're putting things on pause. And it just made me sad.
I mean, I was shocked actually at how emotional it was. I think often when exes see each other on the beach, there is more of an anticipation of emotional pain on display than there actually is. They're usually pretty healed from it. They've moved on. They're ready. Maybe one of them has dated someone. This feels so fresh. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it on the show. A lot of the conversation is just them staring at each other sadly while Susie leaks tears. And not because of anything specific that happens. She just seems sad to see him, and like the emotions that it brings up are difficult. The last time they saw each other in person, they were exchanging their stuff. Like,
I know.
it's fresh. And so I kind of have to hand it to Lexi. They are not healed.
She's not wrong. No, she's not wrong, but that also was the game.
Yeah,
Like,
and you kind of just like got up and walked away from the table, and then you're gonna circle back to the table and try to pick it up.
The thing is, she probably just should have been like, I don't really want to be involved in this, which fair enough. You can imagine in your head like how production or like how the edit is going to make you look in the situation. I assume that's a big part of it, but like that's the situation. That's who you connect with.
Yeah.
So
No, you
either
just
like
have
opt
to
in
you
or
have
out,
to
babe.
play the hand you're dealt. So they have this conversation while Lexi is watching anxiously. And Zoe's like, maybe it's not that serious. They both came here not to reconnect, probably to meet new people, but it's clear that it's going to be a really difficult situation. And Susie and Justin are like, this is going to be so uncomfortable for us and for anyone that we're trying to date. The next morning, Brian and Zoe are sitting next to each other in
So
silence
great.
at the breakfast bar. This is their routine. This is just what they do. You know, some couples go for a walk in the morning or they get coffee. They sit next to each other in silence at the breakfast bar while she
And seethe in
seethes.
anger.
She seethes and he just eats. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. And then Parisa shows up to flirt with him. He still is not acknowledging Zoe in any way. And Alex and Jonathan are still focusing on each other. Jonathan seems to feel really good about it. He's like showering her with compliments, but it's making her uncomfortable, which is, he doesn't seem to register as a problem, but she's like, please stop complimenting me and eat your fruit. I feel uncomfortable. And it's like, yeah, because she's like not
Because you
into
don't
him.
like him.
Yeah. Jesse shows up the next morning to give date cards to Susie and Jill. And Jill's date is first. It's in the VIP BIP special suite, or as Jesse calls it, the VIP BIP, which I like. I think they should stick with that.
I do too. I guess this is their like high-end version of the Boom Boom Room.
Yes, it is. It's the Boom Boom
love
Room.
it.
I miss the Boom Boom Room. It's so like tawdry and shameful. It's like
So
go
do
into your
I.
disgusting little hole and touch each
I
other.
know, and I liked it.
They had to give it a classy rebrand because it was so tainted with the farts of Ashley I.
Yeah.
and
Wow, that's so
Jared.
Catholic of you. You're like, I want shame, but in like a sexy way.
Yes, that's what makes it
You're
hot.
like, you get it.
I'm gonna have to tell my priest about this next weekend.
Confess.
Susie will be going on an afternoon date on the water. It's jet skiing. And there's also a rose ceremony tonight, Jesse tells everyone. 4 women will be going home. This is deranged. There are like 5 men here.
Jill and Susie arrived last night. This is mean.
This is crazy. There is not enough time to really destabilize an existing connection, even a very new
No.
existing connection, with
They're
like
like all
24 hours.
basically fucked except for Parisa because Brian doesn't want to be with Zoe.
Exactly. You have to actively already be ready to dump your partner to choose the new person at this point. If you had given, say, Jeremy, more on him later, but say you've given him 3 days with Susie before the rose ceremony, then you have a real like horse race. Instead, it's like, well, I have to pick the person that I have a stronger bond with than the person who just got here.
Got here yesterday.
Yesterday.
Deranged.
This
Also,
is so annoying.
How dare you do this to Susie and Jill? They are stars.
They
Give them
deserve-
room to breathe. They deserve more time. They deserve the world. So everyone starts to panic and starts having a bunch of chats. Brian finally speaks to Zoe directly, and he lets her know that he's seeing some neediness being created out of her.
His phrasing kills me.
God, what a dummy.
Out of the raw material of Zoe, some neediness is
It's being
emerging. It's being
created.
created.
Who's
He's like,
creating it? Who can say it's being created?
Right, the passive voice here
The
when
passive voice is creating it.
he is the one creating it, and he doesn't like that neediness. Shocker. So Zoe calls him out for ignoring her and flirting with Parisa in front of her the night before. And finally he's like, well, I have more in common with Parisa. I have a better connection with her. And Zoe is pissed. She's like, you let me fester all day long. You could have told me about this yesterday, last night, this morning. You didn't tell me that your feelings had changed. And Brian is like, I don't know why you're mad at me. Like, what do I have to do with this conversation? It's ridiculous.
He's such a dick. And on God, I don't know. This whole thing.
Ladies, this
bothered
is what
me.
happens when you tell your son that he is the complete package.
Yeah, you really my main takeaway from these episodes is like these men should actually have lower self-esteem.
Yeah, they need it.
We need to stop making young men confident.
They need to be humbled.
They can't handle it.
She does keep interrupting him, but to be fair, whenever he tries to talk, he says something really annoying. She's like, you haven't even apologized. And he's like, because you're berating me, which I think is like...
Berating? Does he mean berating?
Yeah, I feel like he kind of squished together barrage and berate.
He's confused.
Shocker. And she then scripts for him what she thinks is the correct, like, abject apology for him to have given her. And he's like, well, I don't agree with a lot of that. No kidding. You don't think that she deserves even basic human decency. Why would you think she deserved an actual apology? And then he starts being like, I didn't ignore you. I don't know why you keep saying I ignored you. What do you mean I ignored you? Are you just mad that I'm not like attached at the hip to you?
Fuck off.
And they do the
What a
flashback.
dick.
They do the flashback here to 2 hours earlier when he's sitting next to her, not making eye contact or speaking to her. And she's like, you were attached at the hip with Parisa. And he was like, well, you didn't even let us have private time. Our date was a shared date. And like, we needed to have private time after the date. Then we flash back to the private time they had on the date, making out.
Absolutely obsessed with the way that the show is dragging Brian with this flashback footage.
He
Thank
is a
you.
snake. I'm sorry. He
He
is
sucks.
all he's been doing is sending her constant nonverbal signals that he doesn't like her anymore, but he wouldn't just tell her with his words, even though she's right there. It's so disrespectful. And then he's trying to act in this conversation like he wasn't doing any of that, which he was. Like, just be straight with her.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, Zoe somehow is managing to not come out dramatically on top here because she has just been sitting around sulking in a way that is
I
really
know. It's a bummer.
ominous. Yeah, I feel like she isn't presenting that she is like a fun person to have around.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Lexi and Susie have a chat, and Susie clearly wants to like get things back on track for Justin. She's like, we're done. Like, we had a wonderful relationship, but it's over. And
You don't need
should,
to feel bad. Like,
yeah.
go forth, pursue him.
Allie Jo pulls Dale for a chat and expresses her interest, and he's intrigued by her. Of course, she does check a lot of boxes. And so Allie Jo like dramatically drapes her body over him while they chat, because this is paradise, you know? Why just chat when you could chat with your legs interlocked?
And they are having the emptiest conversation. I was like, I cannot process what's happening. They're like, do you think opposites attract or similarities? Well, maybe both. Similarities and opposites. I was like, I can't. This is a contentless conversation.
No, it's so stupid. It's like the kind of dating conversation that they often have on these shows where it's like these are two people whose sole interest is just like optimizing themselves and reading self-help books and stuff. And so they don't know
Right.
what to talk about except what types of people they are and whether those are two types of people that are similar or different.
It's just
I also feel
bad.
like she is sort of trying to, like with the seasickness thing, she's trying to be like, well, you and I are very similar. And in a way, isn't that the most important thing? Because otherwise you would have to like work really hard to overcome a difference. Like if one of you gets seasick and one of you doesn't,
But look
that
at
would be
us.
hard. Look at us. We're so similar. We're both fit. We only eat the filling of tacos.
And we're fit.
And we're fit.
You know, we're fit and we're fit.
And we have
we're
beautiful
fit.
eyes. Meanwhile, Kat is staring at them from across the breakfast bar. And as they start to kiss, Kat runs straight into his eye line
She's
by
trying
running down to the
so
beach.
hard not to have a meltdown. So she's like, okay, what can I do? I can just run into the eye line. I'll seem so chill.
She's like, I decided to play mermaids. And so I'm just going to go put on a bathing suit and just like run into the water right where he's looking. And of course,
Honestly, it works.
It
so.
messes up. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. And sort of ends the makeout because he's reminded of the existence of Kat. Like, that's the thing with men. You have to always be ready to run into their eye line and look
You know
cute.
what? It's so true. They do forget you exist if you're not directly in their line of sight. So like this is a good tactic. I'm gonna start doing that to my husband.
I do have to respect that Kat is like, last time I just crashed out all the time and that wasn't cute. This time, what if instead of crashing out, I ran around looking cute in the eye line of the man that I want
I think
to
it's
impress?
great. I respect it. I applaud it.
She's
I
playing
love
the
this
game.
growth. I love this growth for you. Jill and Susie are out here being like, okay, it's time for our dates. We need to decide who to give our date cards to. Susie ends up asking Jeremy, and Jill goes for Jonathan, sort of in a friendly way. She's like, there's no one else I want to go out with. You're open to like a friend date and you're cute.
Well, that isn't really what is said. I like rewatched it because of how weird Jonathan gets later. He presents himself as like open to the date. He's like, "It would be fun. I'd love to go with you, but you should talk to everyone and, like, just know that, like, we would have a great time if
He
that's what you
does
decide
tell
to do."
her, I already talked to Alex about it, and I said that it might be more like friendly vibes. He does say that at first, because Jill says, do you need to talk to Alex? And he said, I already did.
Mm,
I told her that
okay.
it might be more like friend vibe. So I think Jill goes into the date thinking it's going to be more friendly, but then
Yeah.
Jonathan switches the vibe and like
Yeah.
makes it sexy. And that like
Yeah.
switches the tenor of their relationship.
Yeah. He's like, "Sure, I'm down. We'll have fun." She's like, "I have no one else to talk to. These men are all coupled up or they suck. So, sure, let's go for it." Jeremy also gives Bailey a heads up, and Bailey is like, "Great, go. I already thought about it." And I was like, I want him to go if he gets asked on a date. Like, I want you to choose me and not just feel like you have to stay with me. And he keeps being like, "Are you sure? I feel bad." And she's like, "No, it's fine. Really. Have fun." And he's like in the moments too, being like, "I don't know. I feel bad because I like Bailey, but I am in paradise to explore. I came here for a reason. Like, I really kind of owe it to myself to
And you're
like."
like, yeah, you
Yeah,
all do.
totally. You all do.
Hold on to that. Cause I think Jeremy thinks only Jeremy
Yeah.
deserves that. Susie and Jeremy head to the beach for their date. They're going jet skiing. And I was like feeling the chemistry between these two.
Yeah. They're having fun.
They're
Jeremy's
having
like,
fun. They're sipping champagne. They're making out. And back at the resort, Bailey is telling Allie Joe about how confident she's feeling going into tonight. And her chyron reads, a little too confident.
"Oh, yeah. I mean, it's good to have confidence. Like, what is she going to do? Like, try to get with Brian?"
I think Bailey is handling herself so well.
So well. I
She
was
is like
really impressed.
understandably feeling a little anxious. She wants things to go her way, of course. But she's also like, go forth, have your date, and I'm going to hope for the best.
Yeah, she's like, "If I just mark my territory, then it won't mean that I'm being chosen. Like,
Right.
I want to be chosen. I think we have a good connection. I'm betting on it. That's all I can do." Jonathan and Jill go to the BIP suite to make Bloody Marys, and it turns out Jonathan used to be a bartender, but a bad one. And he doesn't know how to make Bloody Marys. And Jill's like,
Terrible.
"What were you bartending, an AA meeting?"
I love Jill. And then things get a little flirty because they start playing Twister and their bodies get all twisted up together. And Jonathan ends up initiating a makeout. And Jonathan's like, oh, telling the camera, Jill's a beautiful girl. He's like, oh, maybe this is like actually, maybe there's more of a spark here than I initially thought there would be.
Yeah, it seems like they both start to kind of warm to the idea of like, well, we're friends, but like we're flirting, we're making out. Like maybe there's something more here to explore. They go up to the plunge pool in the suite. They're like really embracing this experience. And Jill's like, maybe there's just like an opening here where I could kind of like give it my best shot and get in there. And it seems like it's going her way. And then it's time for the cocktail party and rose ceremony. And the guys are riding high on their power. Almost all of the guys have multiple options because there are like 4 new women and what, 6 guys?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. And like Spencer is really
in.
locked in. Like most of these guys have a couple women vying for their rose.
Right. No one else is going to go for Justin because they're not trying to insert themselves
Right.
into that.
And so the women are feeling unsettled. Like most of them are in a love triangle. And Bailey is even starting to feel queasy. So during the cocktail party, Parisa pulls Brian for a little like relationship question game, corporate retreat, trust building exercise. That is the vibe of this season. Corporate retreat, trust building with makeouts.
Correct.
Jeremy tells Bailey that selfishly he wishes he could explore both her and Susie. He's like, I'm super into Bailey, but I'm worried about going all in to my own detriment. God forbid there be a detriment to Jeremy. The detriment should all be to other people, for sure. I mean, honestly, at this point, I was like still 100% on Jeremy's side because I don't think that there was enough time for them to
I
explore this love
agree.
triangle. I think that it would have been interesting and more beneficial to actually
Give it
exploring who has a better
space.
attraction if you give it space.
I 100% agree. I think that 24 hours is not enough time. I actually think Jeremy genuinely has chemistry with both Bailey and Susie. And so while, I don't love to give men options, I actually would have been, as you said, intrigued to see how this would play out and how those connections would develop. So yeah, I don't think our issues with Jeremy are this part. It's what comes after.
Lexi chats with Justin to let him know that she's still into him. She feels better after talking to Susie and she's ready to get this train chugging along again right in time for the rose ceremony. And they agree to focus on their connection and end up making out. Jill and Jonathan also chat, and he expresses some concern about Alex and whether their connection is just fun. And then he says, "And you make my decision hard," in a weird voice, and immediately regrets the weird voice. I don't think that's the thing he should regret most from this batch of
No.
episodes. Allie Joe pulls Dale for another chat, and Kat congratulates herself for being so much more cool, calm, and collected this time around. Dale tells Allie Joe that he wants more time with her, and they kiss, but not before Dale peers over his shoulder to see if Kat can see him.
He's like, am I being watched? No? Okay, I can sneak in a little kiss.
Oh my God.
He's trying to get all his kisses in before he's fully committed.
Yeah.
Justin and Susie sit for another chat. And again, you can just feel the emotion bubbling up for them. Susie tells Justin that her date with Jeremy was great, but she just doesn't know where his head's at. And she just immediately starts tearing up. She's like, I feel like we're all just in a really shitty position. Justin, Jeremy, Bailey, her. And honestly, she's not wrong. And Justin clearly feels bad. He's looking at this. He's like, oh no, Susie's not going to have an ideal experience. And he says that he feels like a big reason that this experience on Paradise has been better for him than it was last time is because of how much Susie gave him during their relationship. And he says, you're always the one giving and you are always the one getting the short end of the stick. Oh.
Yeah, and she starts crying. This was so tough because obviously it's tough. It's sad. They clearly care about each other a lot, and we don't know why they can't be together, but clearly they know their relationship best, and they've decided they can't be together.
I know the really delulu part of me was like, no, just get back together. Just do it.
Right. Well, and also, I've been through a breakup that was similar to this. We were a lot younger, and it was messier, but we were, friends first. We dated for a long time, but it never really quite fully worked. And after it really ended, it was so hard for me to wrap my mind around the idea that I wouldn't be the number one girl in his life
Yeah.
anymore. I was like, we were best friends and then we dated. And during that whole time, I was your top
You're
priority.
I'm special. We're special to each other. And it's hard to
Right.
let go of that.
And now you're gonna some girl you've known for a month is gonna take precedence over me. That's crazy. You should always be looking out for me. You should be I'm looking out for you. I'm still putting you at the center of my life. And so part of me sees the way that they're so drawn to each other and the way that they keep checking in, even when they probably, honestly, they didn't need to have this conversation. They probably shouldn't have, because it keeps pulling them back into those feelings. They should maybe be giving each other more space, even though it's hard. And I'm that's what I would have wanted, but I wanted something that was not good for us ultimately.
Yeah, this conversation was really unnecessary. And it ultimately just sets up the whole shit show that occurs soon after.
Yeah.
So
It's right before the rose ceremony. Let's remind Justin of what a close bond we have and how much he owes to our
Susie,
relationship.
and how they just really need to look out for each other, number one over anyone else.
Oh,
So at this
yeah.
point, Jesse shows up and is like, the cocktail party's over. It's time for the rose ceremony. And Jill says to the camera, I did not have a lot to work with. I had 6 men. How much can you do in 24 hours? Honestly, not a whole lot with those options.
Especially with these men.
Yeah,
please.
these men?
These
You can't
men.
do anything.
So Spencer gives his rose to Jess. Dale gives his rose to Kat. Jeremy gives his rose to Bailey. Brian gives his rose to Parisa. Spencer, if we get a clip of Spencer being like, I don't think Brian's here for love. I think Brian's here to cop a feel and hang out on a beach.
Lord, I love Spencer.
He gets
Spencer,
it.
you get it. We love you.
Jonathan gives his rose to Alex, and Justin is giving out the final rose. And he offers it to Susie. Now, I actually felt like he was going to do this before it happened, but
Really?
I thought that production was I saw the way that her love triangle was unfolding with
Yeah.
Jeremy, and I was like, the production is going to want her to have more time with that, right? Meanwhile, Justin is already clearly feeling like his thing with Lexi is wobbly.
It's done.
They're having this conversation that's reminding him of how much he owes Susie. I was like, they're setting this up for him to offer Susie a friendship rose. And that's what he does, but the fallout is not what I expected.
Same. I was like, Susie should just accept the rose and stick around. But she looks ill. He hasn't prepped anyone, Lexi or Susie, for this possibility. So Lexi is pissed and Susie looks ill.
Yeah.
She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's clearly like having a panic attack. She starts tearing up as she approaches the rose podium. And he tries to explain, he's like, I'm always gonna have your back. And she just says, no, literally stop. This is a nice gesture, but I can't accept this rose.
Yeah. I mean, she clearly feels like the last thing that she wanted to do was reinforce this perception that she and
Yeah.
Justin are not ready to navigate things independently, and that
I
they're
know. You
that
can see her like processing how this is gonna play.
right, which is like they're still too enmeshed to actually be dating other people. And so she's like, I have to be on the record that that is not how I want this to go, that I'm not like expecting him to put me first.
Ugh.
And she says that she feels like he was trying to sacrifice his place on Paradise so she could stay and meet people next week, which is definitely what he was doing. And again, that conversation I think was really setting up that like
Yeah.
he feels like it's his turn to sacrifice for her, and so that he can be the giver and she can be the receiver. Sorry, I don't know why that ended up sounding dirty to me. But she's like, that's not how this should go. He should have just given his rose to Lexi and let me go home. That's how this works. Like, that's what I was expecting to happen.
Oh,
So
it's
Justin,
so painful.
no, it's so bad because then Justin it's like humiliate. Like everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Including Susie, the one person he was trying to help. Lexi is furious. Justin is clearly like so overwhelmed and embarrassed and like stressed out. He walks off. Susie tries to follow him. She's like, "Let me talk to him, Lexi. I think he's just trying to do the right thing. Like, don't like take it personally or something." It's like, of course she's taking it that way. And meanwhile, Allie, Joe, Jill, Lexi, and Zoe are just like waiting to go home. And finally, Lexi is like, "This is ridiculous. I'm not staying. Like, I'm done." And she walks out. And this is where we kind of end episode 2.
True cliffhanger. At this point, I was like, ooh, okay, we're getting into it.
I know things did not turn out the way that I expected.
No, this fallout is crazy.
So we return in episode 3 to a rose ceremony in shambles. Spencer is like narrating, like Justin storms out, Susie chases him, people have been eliminated. So Allie Joe is giving Dale the death stare, which I was laughing at because like, why would she expect his rose?
It's so funny. Spencer is a gem.
She didn't even take him on the date. I'm like, Allie Joe, come on. Girls are crying. It's raining. Lexi storms out. We don't know if people are coming back. We're down an extra guy now. There's 5 of us. I'm like, there's not enough. There are not enough men. Like, if you have such low quality men, then you have to have a higher quantity.
Exactly. You have to have like 12 of them to make up for the lack of quality.
Like, you can cast a Brian if there are like an entire cast of high quality men next to him. You can't have Brian count toward your numbers of genuine romantic options.
No, it's insulting.
So Jesse is alone in a dim hotel room with Justin, saying he knows Justin had the best of intentions and he's sorry that happened. And then we get a little bit of Justin's thought process. We have a clip.
Obviously, Susie and I have a lot of history. Her and I were the best of friends before we started dating. And prior to crossing that line, we sat at my house on the sofa across from each other, and No, we made.
It's okay.
We were both terrified to cross that line because we knew if things didn't work out, we'd lose our new best friend. But we promised each other that no matter what our relationship looked like, we would look out for the other one.
The drastic 180 from the past couple of days with Lexi to the 11th hour on the night of a rose ceremony threw me for a loop. I just didn't know if that would work out, and so because of that, I made the decision that I made.
Yeah. It does seem like Lexi was right that he wasn't really ready to let Susie go in terms of her being the person that he was prioritizing. But it also seems like Lexi gave him full plausible deniability here by backing away until the last minute of the rose ceremony. So then he could come out here and say, well, I would have given things a chance with Lexi, but it seemed like I couldn't rely on her. Like I couldn't trust her intentions. I couldn't trust her investment in the relationship. So I decided to basically remove myself. And we don't know if that's true or not. Like if Lexi had been in it with him, would he have been willing to let Susie go home and proceed with Lexi? We don't know for sure, but they both kind of like fed into this immediately fulfilling all of Lexi's fears.
The whole thing is just like such a bummer.
It does seem like he should have given her a hint instead of being like, yeah, let's progress our connection and like making out.
Yeah, he should have been like, I need to think about this. And he also should have probably, when offering Susie the rose, he should have been like, I want to do something as like a gesture of friendship. Like he should have made it clear what his intentions were and that they like weren't romantic.
Right. You could like stand up there and be like, I've decided that this process, like it was a mistake for me to come back here and this isn't the right place for me right now. But before I go, as a gesture of friendship, I want to offer this rose to this person. And that is not what happened. I think that Lexi deserved a heads up that it might not work out for her. Like she obviously had no reason to think that he would give it to anyone else after everything that she had heard. I saw that she had like gone on a podcast this week and said that she regretted giving Justin a chance and giving him her rose. And I was like, what? And
you're like, okay, I guess I get it. But also I'm like, who should she have given a rose to?
Yeah.
Like also like, I don't know.
That's the thing.
I'm sorry. That's
Lack
just
of
what
options.
it was. Yeah.
So Justin says he needs to go home and he's okay with that.
Meanwhile, Susie is outside asking production if she can talk to him, and a producer says that he doesn't want to talk to anyone. And she says, I can help him. Guys, this is brutal.
Yeah. No, you're still each other's person. Like you're not really ready to be friends until you can be friends without being like each other's person. Like if you're still the person who's like, I'm the one who can help him in his time of special need, I'm the one who should go to him, it's too soon. Susie leaves tearful and rejoins the group. Meanwhile, Jeremy tells the guys he wishes Susie had accepted the rose and that he's second guessing his decision.
Yikes. Yikes for Bailey to be watching this back now.
I know. I really hope he told her in detail about all the shit that he said about wishing he had given the rose to Susie instead, because holy shit. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I wish that Susie were staying also. But you had no reason to think Susie was staying when you gave Bailey a rose to begin with. So why are you now second guessing your decision?
Right. You can just say, oh, it's such a bummer. I was really wanting to continue to like get to know Susie, and now I won't have that opportunity. That would have been okay.
It's like
just
he got
the entitlement.
He's so loss averse. He's like, the minute that I thought I still had Susie and then she went away again, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could not lose the option of Susie. You didn't have that option before.
You did not. But Jesse has come out to offer Justin's rose to someone else. We have a clip.
Jill, will you accept Justin's rose?
It's not for me, Jesse. I so much appreciate it, but I have had my time.
No.
I've had a good run. What are you talking about? Why?
Justin is gone. Like, just take it.
Jill, I think Justin's offering you this rose as a friendship.
That's really
so that you
sweet
can
of
stay
him.
here in paradise and hopefully meet someone.
Justin said my name specifically.
Yes.
All right, you know what? Fine. You know what? Fine. Take it. Take it. Take it, Joe.
Getting a rose is like getting revenge. It's good anytime you can get it.
I love a pity rose.
Deceased Jill.
Oh, so good.
This is so funny. You can tell that she's like, what is production trying to do to torture me? And then Jesse's like, no, this actually came from Justin. And then she's like,
Right.
fine.
Which is what I thought, because I was like, I feel like production would try to give the rose to someone who was in a more active love triangle of any kind. Like, I feel like there was
Sure.
nothing going with Jill, so that's not what production's best interest is.
Right.
But
You're like,
she and
no,
Justin
this
are
is-
friends.
They're friends.
So that was my thought. But I love that the comedy of errors this turns into, where it's like, you cannot sell Justin's rose. You can't give it away. You can't pay someone to take Justin's rose. It's like, what about you over here? Would you like, nope, sorry, I've actually already decided my time here has come to an end.
I feel like also Jill is looking around. She's like, my friends are all leaving.
Well, that's the thing. I
Just let me
kind of feel like
go.
she should have stuck with her guns, because what options does she have? Her friends are leaving. Her romantic options are
No, but Claire,
Evaporating.
we needed Jill to stick around to give
I
us
did.
more comedy.
I
She's doing
was
a
glad.
service.
I was glad she stayed.
too.
For sure, for me personally, so I can hang out with her on the screen. But if I were her, I would have been like, no, I absolutely need to leave.
will be exiting. So some of the women do exit. Allie Joe and Susie, sad. Zoe leaves and she is mad and she says bye to the good guys, to the men as she exits. She tells the camera, men like Brian will always take the easy way. The easiest girl, the easiest path forward. I think he's a fucking loser.
Sorry, what was that first one? The easiest what now?
Zoe, keep your anger directed at Brian. He is a
Yeah.
fuking loser.
Did you
But
just call
Parisa
another
didn't do
woman?
anything wrong.
Did you just call her easy, like on national
Gross.
TV? Like, I think that the easiest path that Brian took was not speaking to her directly. It's not that Parisa is an easier girl.
No.
It's avoiding the conversation that was easy for him. So we don't need to get into weird implications about Parisa's character.
We certainly do not.
Oh, I hate this for Zoe, that she had like a complete anti-redemption arc. She did the full villain to
villain.
to-
Villain to villain.
She did the villain to villain. In the Bachelor season, she did a villain to hero almost arc, and then she immediately face planted on the beach.
It's just unfortunate because she really like did it to herself. Like no, like she didn't need to say half the shit she said.
And
Everyone is going to be on her side with Brian.
Right. And I actually loved a lot of the points where she was really direct with him about
Me
how
too.
shitty his behavior was. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't deserve for you to mince your words or speak carefully. He's being a dick. Like, call him out. But somehow she
100%.
is not coming out as that sympathetic, which should be easy because he sucks so much, because she
Right.
has to do these things like taking shots at Spencer and Farisa, like, who did nothing to earn her ire. It's frustrating. At the end of the rose ceremony, Jesse tells them to get ready because there are some old friends that are about to show up. And everyone's like, oh, the Goldens must be coming. And Brian
You're
is like, okay, I don't know what that was about, but it's paradise, so I guess something crazy. And his floating,
Brian-
like, chyron says, duh, it's the Goldens.
Yeah, Brian, it's very obvious. So it's only day 6 in paradise, as they helpfully tell us. And the fallout of that rose ceremony from hell is lingering. Poor Susie is like, why am I always involved? Actually, no, she wasn't involved in that rose ceremony from hell in Clayton season. She avoided it. They got her this time.
Yeah, she had to be present, but she's not present for the fallout, which does nevertheless concern her. Bailey is feeling great. Jeremy picked her at the rose ceremony. She's focused on him. She's kind of like, I'm not closed off, like, if someone comes in, but he is the person that I'm, like, really focused on pursuing right now. Meanwhile, Jeremy is in the pool with his bros, wistfully reminiscing about how he was having so much fun laughing on his date with Susie that his jaw hurt. And, like, he's
Jeremy.
kind of wondering if he messed up by not giving her the rose, but if things don't work out here, he will definitely DM her when he gets home.
Sir, you didn't choose her. She's done.
He's like, "Can I just have all of them? I don't understand. Like, she'll be waiting on the shelf, right? And I can just, like, pick it back up. If I decide to return this piece of merchandise, then I can then exchange it for the other one." Like, the thing is, try to remember that this will be on TV, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no, they
this is a bad
need more
look.
reminder. It's a
Bailey
very
is-
bad look, and it only gets worse.
Bailey's not going to want to see this. Susie is not going to want to see this. Like, no one is going to find this more attractive. The Goldens then make their arrival on a yacht.
I love this for them. They're the best.
They're partying. It's very White Lotus. They're like sailing up together, already in party mode. Keith is like, paradise is about to change. No cap. They put them all on like a Zoomer slang crash course. They had them read one of those like MSN.com articles that's like, what do these 12 Gen Z slang terms mean?
To be fair, Keith's daughter like just finished high school, so he's probably somewhat familiar.
Maybe. He's not the only one though who is doing this. Kathy says they're about to get turned, for example. April had her inner knees redone and she's ready to work it. She's like, I'm a feisty little fairy and I know how to flirt. And they do some of like the little intros. Leslie is doing yoga. She's like, this time around, there won't be as many tears. And if one of the younger guys approaches me, why not? It works for Cher. Kim is here and fully healed from being teased for being named Kim. As a child? Like, I don't understand.
I know. I was like, are you talking about being a captain? That's the main name that everyone used for you on Joan's season, but
no, he's
whatever.
fully talking about how hard it was to be named Kim as a boy. And I'm like, wasn't that 60 years ago? Is he healed though? Is he healed? Is he healed and ready for a relationship? Even though as a child he was teased for being named Kim. Is he healed? RJ is our 6'5", blue eyes, former finance guy who was barely on Golden Bachelorette, I think.
But he's adorable.
And he says he has the emotional stability of a houseplant, which is my kind of guy. I love that. Keith is known as the girl dad, and he's in pink swim trunks, which I assume is a nod to that. Natasha is 62 years young and ready to go hard to get her man, whose names she can't remember.
Fair enough. She's also wearing her signature chair earrings.
Ugh, love it. Kathy considers looking for a husband her full-time job. Jack has been called a serial dater, and that's a horrible thing. But if it's not the one, you got to go to the next one. I can't get over the like Trump-like nature of how he speaks. It's like, I've been called this. It's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, but that's what you got to do.
I was just like, Jack, I think you're drunk 100% of the time. Even when he's sober, I'm like, he's drunk.
Some people just have a drunk personality.
Yeah, and that's Jack.
CK is more confident and ready for this experience this time.
We will never see him again.
The Goldens all roll up in like a phalanx to the resort bar, and the OGs, the Youngs, welcome them with hugs. And Kat's like, they look so cute. And this is the beginning of
infantilization of people in their 60s.
The nonstop infantilization. It's truly like, these old people, they're so adorable. I bet they've never done anything except kiss people on the cheek in their whole lives. Do they know about sex? They're old. It's so adorable.
Yeah, it's like they're either making really annoying ageist jokes or they're being nice by being like, oh, it's so cute that 60-year-olds can like hang out and maybe kiss.
It's so cute. It's like a
and
little
it's like,
baby.
look, they are cute sometimes. Everyone is cute sometimes, but like these people are adults.
Right. They've actually lived all the years that you lived and then like 30 more years on top of that.
Right.
So
They've
every
seen
life
some shit.
experience
They've
you've
done some
had,
shit. Like,
yeah. And the Goldens are not feeling cute. They're feeling hot and sexy. They're ready to flirt. They started flirting on the boat. They're
they
like
are
sitting on
fun.
laps.
Oh my God, they are so fun. I was like, April, you were fucking made in a lab for Paradise. She is hilarious.
As some of them notice, including Kat and April are like the same person.
I also really enjoy that Kat and April are rooming together.
Yeah, they're like immediate besties. They're like, we're gonna read tarot together. Like we resonate together so well.
It's perfect.
April is flirting with Jeremy. She's calling like you muscles across the bar at him. And he's like, I have a name, April. She tells CK he has a little bad boy in him. And he's like, I have a lot of bad boy. She tells Kim that she did not bring underwear. Like she is just like chatting up
She's
everyone.
out here. I like that April has all this bluster and then also is like, I haven't kissed someone in like half a decade.
Yeah, since my partner died. Yeah. So, but she has a lot of pent up,
Fair enough.
sexual and
I
romantic
would
energy.
too.
Yeah. Jesse welcomes everyone. He's like, look, we're not expecting anyone to date across generational lines. And April calls, unless you want to. And Jesse's like, please don't make it weird. And I'm like, it's weird that you left that line in, given how Jesse has been promoting this season.
To be
I don't
fair,
think April's the one making it weird.
yeah. To be fair, Wells is the number one
No.
person who was making it weird.
They both promoted the possibility of intergenerational dating in different specific quotes. Like they both said things about it. And I'm like, okay, so then you're gonna have Jesse acting like it would be so weird if that happened. And then he's out here in interviews being like, oh yeah, we might see some of that. That would be fun. The Youngs all seem shocked and frankly a little attacked by how raucous and ready to party the Goldens are. They're like, this is not right. They're old and we're young and fun. But they're
I'm just
acting
hoping
young
my
and fun.
energy is going to come rebounding back at like 60.
Yeah, I'm counting on it, frankly. I'm like, I can't be this tired for the rest of my life.
Well, exactly.
When I'm an empty nester, that's when I'll get my energy back. Jill is just chilling at the bar waiting for some new dudes. She's like, I don't expect much. I just want one with a job. And Jonathan's like, beating heart and a job. I think we can do that. And she's like, you'd think, but obviously not. And here comes Andrew Spencer. Does he have a job? I don't know, but he does have a beating heart.
He's a really good TikToker and a nice person. So
TikToking isn't a job. Podcasting is a job.
He's been on our podcast.
He is like so ready to build a sandcastle and find one of those relationships where there's a friendship, but also like burning romantic love. And he's interested in Bailey and Alex. They are his type. Alex sees him across the bar and is immediately feeling the flutters.
I mean, Andrew is a very handsome man. This is great casting, I think.
I feel like he's someone who could balance Alex out better than Jonathan. Like they don't vibrate on the same frequency, but he's still like chill and fun and not like so intense like Ricky was.
Yeah, no, I think Andrew is like a actual viable prospect for Alex.
Yeah.
So he starts like working the room. He's chatting with Bailey. He's chatting with Alex. And ultimately, he decides to ask Bailey on the date.
Yes, because she has a campfire warmth and he just wants to like cozy up to it. He's like, you're the catch of the summer.
Ooh.
And Alex is really going to be disappointed because she's like, please take me out of here. I need to get out of here. I need to go on a date. I'm like dying to go on a date. And he's like, haha, I see some campfire warmth over there I need to check out. Meanwhile, by the way, Jeremy is in his room reading a book. So it's true.
He does read.
Bailey feels that she needs to obviously tell Jeremy that this is happening. So she knocks on his door and interrupts sustained silent reading time and tells him about the date. And this I did not see coming. Jeremy is mad. Like, really mad. I think we have a clip.
I mean, like, I went on a date yesterday, but also at the same time, like when you came and talked to me last night,
Yeah,
you were like, I'm here for you.
I am.
That definitely played a part in me
No, I
obviously giving you
understand.
a rose. Do you feel like you said that last night because you feel like you needed to get a rose?
No, I said that because I meant it.
But that's not
I'm
like,
only
oh, it's you
interested in
until
you.
like someone else
No,
comes by.
that's not what it means. And I really wasn't expecting him to ask me on the date, like, at all.
Yesterday when you talked to me, you said that you know it's me.
What a baby.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, you've been bitching nonstop about how worried you are that Bailey will, like, God forbid, expect anything from you. You need to sample your options. This is paradise. Like, what if Bailey thinks you're going to be committed to her? And then
It
Bailey
only cuts
gets
one way.
It only cuts one way. Well, she said that she was focused on him and therefore she's his girlfriend. And he's a free agent, but she's his girlfriend and she has to be loyal to him because otherwise she was clearly just manipulating him for a rose. And he says to her, basically, I gave you a rose because you promised you were only into me, which
So
that alone,
insane.
I would be like, fucking excuse me? Like, you only picked me
He's
because
like,
you thought I
were
was a sure
guaranteed
thing.
bet. I thought you were a guaranteed bet, so now you owe me.
All right, so
Fuck
go
off.
take your chances with Susie then and leave me the fuck alone. Like, that's insulting. And the fact that he has been like, if he were locked in on her, this would still be annoying. But the fact that he has been going around constantly being like, I'm giving her the rose, but what if she thinks that I'm not going to talk to other girls anymore? I really need to talk to other girls.
Also,
And then
like, oh,
she
maybe I'm regretting my
entertains
decision.
then she should definitely be exploring her fucking options if you're not sure about her. And then the minute that she entertains a date invitation from another guy, which by the way, this is the plot of Paradise.
This
is
is
how
the game.
And we're less than a week in. The
This
summer is
like
just
so
beginning.
deranged, and it's really disappointing to see Jeremy act like a little baby, and he starts just melting down and going to producers and demanding that Susie come back. I want Susie back. I'm not kidding. Can
that's
you check?
not how this
Get her back. He's literally like, Susie, have you returned the package? If not, get the package back to me.
Literally, he's like, is it still in our mailroom waiting to go out? Or can we retrieve it?
Go check right now. Go
Are
check
you
right
sure?
now. It's like truly the most bratty behavior I've ever witnessed.
It's bratty. I was like, this is not how it works. You don't get take backsies on your rose because someone switches up. Did Zoe get take backsies on her rose because Brian started fucking ignoring her the next day? No, she did not.
How it fucking works.
The entire plot of Paradise is built around people giving out roses and then having to deal with the anxiety of the person that they picked and kind of placed all their chips on, maybe entertaining a date from like a new person who comes in the next day. That is how the show works. You don't get to then say, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, I got a faulty one. I think I need an exchange.
Fuck all the way off.
Infuriating. And you can see the producers kind of like talking to us. You're like, no, she's really gone. Like, you can't have her back. And then starting to be like, if we let him call her, that would make for
he'll look real deranged. And this is really on him. So they're like, okay, here's the phone. And he calls Susie, who's just, you can tell is like, what? Hi. Yeah, I'm about to
sounds
board
like she's been crying, honestly. I feel like Susie had a really brutal 24 hours getting plunged back into the emotional aftermath of this breakup that was clearly very difficult with someone she still cares about and wants to be close to, but it's complicated. And then it was like a traumatic experience where it felt like she broke up a relationship.
Jeremy.
She got rejected by Jeremy to cap it all off. And now he's calling her at the airport being like, oh, I'm mad at Bailey. Can you come back so I can date you
like,
instead?
No, I'm going the fuck home.
She's like, I can't come back. Just like make the best of it. Maybe this is how it was meant to be. And the producer's like, well, I'm glad she picked up. And I'm like, I bet you are glad she picked up.
It's honestly hilarious.
Meanwhile, poor Bailey had to go tell Alex this is happening. And she starts crying because Jeremy is upset. I'm like, don't feel bad. He's being a dick. Like, he doesn't deserve your tears over this. He was not fucking crying when he went to go take Susie on a date.
No, but I also like I felt so much for her because I was like, I get it. Like, I would also be so anxious. Like, I hate people being mad at me. So I was like, I would also probably cry.
Of course, I just don't want her to feel bad. I don't
No,
think
it
that he has
sucks.
any right to make her feel bad about this. And the fact that she's like, I really like him. I feel so bad that he's hurt and upset. And I'm like, the shit he said to you was unacceptable in this context.
100%.
You should be mad. I hope that you come around to being mad, but it seems like that's not going to happen. And then meanwhile, Jill, Jess, and Kat are gossiping because Spencer told Jess that he heard Jeremy say he might have made the wrong decision.
Thank you, Spencer, for your service. You were looking out for the gals. You are a good man.
I love Spencer.
I love Spencer. I'm a Spencer stan now. He is for the girls. He is
Yes.
#ally.
He is an ally. And this is always my favorite guy on the season, is the one who gets coupled up early on and then is just like a supportive conduit for the interests of his girlfriend and all of her friends.
It's wonderful.
In opposition to the bros who are dicking them over. Bailey heads out on her date, saying she doesn't want to have regrets. They're doing something with coffee.
It's like a spa thing with coffee. And so neither of them drink coffee, but they bathe in coffee.
Yeah,
and
Andrew's
make
like,
out.
I don't drink coffee, and his lower third is like, prefers tea. But he is like, Bailey is my cup of joe. So now we have a whole new category of beverage that a person can be. You can be someone's cup of tea, or you can be coffee. There are different kinds of tea. That's how we determine compatibility. They submerge themselves in a coffee bath and immediately convince themselves they're like high on caffeine. Is this something that can happen? I felt like I was watching like one of those fentanyl panic videos where a cop like touches a plastic bag and is like, I'm overdosing. I'm overdosing. It's like, no, it's not. It's not how it works. They rub each other with coffee and make out, and they're just like buzzing with coffee
Literally.
or with pheromones, who can say. Meanwhile, Jeremy has draped a silk scarf over his shoulder and is storming around the resort sulking and wishing there were more women his age, but instead there are Goldens. So, quote, let's get out the prune juice. Jeremy.
I hate that. That's not even a good joke.
It's not even a good joke. Respect your elders who are out there doing shots right now and making better TV. Well, you're making good TV, but in a bad way. Like, you need to be a little bit more respectful to your new colleagues. But Jeremy does confide in Alex, and she comforts him, but also tells him that she's really upset because she's been trying to get there with Jonathan and she just can't. And it seems like maybe this conversation with Andrew really like unlocked this realization for her that she just has to call it. And Jeremy comforts her as she cries and wonders if she's a bad person.
She's not a bad person. She just needs to be honest.
So she does. She pulls Jonathan aside. After she like walks across the bar and Brian is like, hey, Al. And she snaps, why are you calling me out at the worst time?
Like, Alex.
And everyone is like, what?
You could have just said hi. Kept going.
No, she's so me. I was like, oh my God. Like the way that she's like always scrambling to get her bearings. And then when people speak to her, she's like startled. I was like, this is
I'm like
so
lashing
relatable.
out. Like, girl.
And so she pulls Jonathan aside and immediately starts crying and saying she's trying so hard, but she doesn't know if she can get there and she doesn't want to lose their friendship and she feels so bad.
And he has to finally just be like, it's okay.
I know. He's trying to like silence her with like a hug and being like, it's okay. It's okay. And she's like, no, but you don't understand. He's like, no, I understand.
He's like, I get it.
I
You're
get
rejecting me and I'm trying to be cool about it. Let's just move it along.
She's again, so relatable to me where she's like, I just hate to hurt you, but I'm probably not even hurting you. You're probably not even hurt, but I still feel bad. Like she's like, I don't want to presume that he's that into me. So I'm going to make clear that maybe he's not. And I don't claim to have that power over him. And in the moment, he says he doesn't think she timed it to get the rose, but you never know for sure. And now he's like in a pickle and rejection.
And he's like, and now I will have to time my newfound interest for the rose.
Well, I will say this for Jonathan. If he's faking interest, he's doing an incredibly bad job at it. So what he does do is bad in a different way. Because he's looking around, he's like, I don't have a lot of options here. So what should I do? I guess I should try to sort of convince someone to give me their rose by being like, I love that we're friends and I have no interest in you. But we'll get to that. Day 7, Bailey wakes up feeling ill with anxiety about Jeremy. Meanwhile, Jeremy is wondering if he should tell her about calling Susie. And the Chiron says, no. And I'm like, no, yes, you should tell her.
Tell her.
She deserves, knowledge is power. She deserves to know. So she kind of pulls him aside and they talk. And she's like, I know I said that I was focused on you, and I don't want you to think that doesn't mean anything. It does. I really like you. And he's like, well, I feel misled. I think you were only into me until someone else asked you for a date. How can you not relate to this? You were just in this scenario where you were both into Bailey and into Susie, but you can't conceive of the possibility that Bailey is really into you and wants to develop your connection.
Right.
But she also has the capability of having romantic interest in other people at the same time. You've forgotten what that was like for you 36 hours ago. And actually kind of still right now, because he's still thinking about Susie. And Bailey's like, I just didn't really consider that I would be asked for a date. I didn't really think about it. And then it happened. But that doesn't change how much I like you. I really like you. And she starts crying a little bit. And he finally softens enough to smile at her and hug her. And this kind of smooths it over for now.
And I'm sure we'll see it blow up again in a future episode. But for now, they're good. Meanwhile, the Goldens are just living their best lives. They're enjoying the pool and the unicorn floaty and like propping April up on it. And Jack is like ready to make a move on April. And they end up making out in the pool while she's reclining on an inner tube. And I was like, honestly, this is how I would prefer to be made out with. Like,
I know, it's
I'm
almost
reclining. And they are coming to me and doing all the work.
It's almost like she's being served up on a little dish. It's like a delicious floating kissable treat. And yeah, this is her first kiss in a long time. And she says it was everything I could have dreamt about. Wells reflects that a golden couple could be the first to use the boom boom room. That is crazy, he says.
Why?
Is it?
Why, Wells?
Why is it crazy?
Fuck off. Like, I'm so exhausted with the way that everyone, including Wells, is acting as if, like, I don't know, there's a certain age after which all of your prior, like, sexual knowledge and charisma is just disappeared and you become, like, a eunuch, I guess.
Yeah.
And now you're a baby. Like, these people have pretty much all had children.
Right. And you know what else? They are grown. They've had their careers.
And
They're
they
here
are
to have
explicitly
fun.
out here to fucking date.
They're here on a dating show to date, and they don't have to worry about building some sort of brand empire afterwards. They don't have to worry about, like, you know, their future spouse seeing this or like whatever. That's all in their past. They are
Right,
here.
they're good.
They don't give a fuck. They're ready to have fun. And you think that that's crazy? That's like the most plausible.
It's like the least crazy
outcome.
thing.
That was like a plot on an early episode of Parks and Rec where it's like the seniors need sex ed because the nursing homes are just like absolutely rocking. And like,
No, yeah,
of course,
that's like very noted.
yeah, it's very noted that sexual desire does not evaporate when you turn 35. And so meanwhile, Andrew circles back to Alex after his date with Bailey because, as so often happens, you go on a date and then the person you went on a date with immediately spends all their time making up with the person they were exploring before the date. And you're like, all right, anyway, next option. He's like, look, it was a really hard decision between you and Bailey.
And this is how she responds.
I want you to know it took me like 30 minutes to figure out who I was going to choose.
Don't worry at all.
I know. I just felt like...
everyone goes on dates, but
yeah.
me. You know what? Cheers to that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's
if I get another date card,
Which you
we'll
won't,
see.
but that's okay.
Which
That's
I
okay.
won't.
That's okay. You had your change. Thank you very much.
So
Next
I lost
person.
my chances that you're saying.
I'm just like, you know.
I'm a little scared of Alex.
Okay, well.
It was almost like a fight, but not a fight.
Also, I'm like, okay, there's a rose, and I know you're probably stressing, but yeah, thank you.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a fight. She's just using a quirky voice. That doesn't mean she's not mad. She's mad. She just can't say that she's mad without using a quirky voice because that's her personality and she's like conflict averse.
But
I
they do eventually kiss in the pool and
No, they
there's a
make up.
spark.
Yeah, there is a spark. I mean, the thing is that Alex is mad partly because she actually liked him and she got her hopes up.
Right.
And so she's trying to not make it easy for him because she doesn't want to be used for like a last
like, I
chance
get it.
rose. And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna keep trying," and he does. And she's like,
I
"Good enough for
respect
me." Yeah. And they have the spark, so win-win. Jonathan needs a rose as well, and he does wonder if the door is still open with Jill. And I don't know what door he's talking about based on the way he tries to reopen it.
This is so unhinged. Also, I think at this point, Jill believes the door is open because they just made out on a date. And then he said that she's making his decision difficult. Right?
Right. And so she is a little annoyed. Like they sit down and she's like, "You told me before the rose ceremony that you were making my decision hard. Like we had this good date and then you didn't pursue me at all. We haven't spent any time together." She's like, "I've just been hanging on to this little crumb." I was like, on the little crumb of attention and nothing.
So rude. How
She
dare
does-
you make our gal slurp like
She
this?
does so much slurping this episode, and she does not deserve to have to slurp. She should be spoon-fed attention.
I agree. And Jonathan responds to this so poorly by claiming that actually he meant that she made his decision difficult because she reminded him of qualities he'd like in a different person.
Right. He's like, it made me remember I need someone I can have those conversations with. And Jill says, "So you didn't mean that was with me?" And he's like, "Yes, to be clear,
He's like,
I
"Yeah, you get it.
I
You get it."
absolutely did not mean with you. That and then in you, I'm not interested in that quality." And Jill's face just like falls comedic. Like she's just like, "Oh, okay then. So what are we doing?"
And she's like, how the fuck was I supposed to take that?
Right.
X-ray vision, like
What he said to me was that I was making his decision hard. So like that's kind of the obvious read on that. But I guess I was supposed to do this this read into his words in this very intense way and figure out that he just meant a quality that I have, but definitely in someone else. Like that's not the logical inference that you would make. So she's like, "You should have been direct. You should have clarified that you didn't see me that way." And he's like, "Oh, I wasn't aware that that needed." I'm sorry, you made out on the date.
he's so annoying. This is so annoying.
Like you could literally say like,
Yeah, like we had this great date, but I really wanted to give me and Alex a shot. That is now over. And so like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give you the any wrong impressions, but I am interested in pursuing you now, and it's not just about a rose.
well, I'm also like, what is he trying to get out of her? It seems like he
A
thinks
rose.
he might, well, yes, but what kind of rose? It seems like he thinks he might get a flirty friend's rose out of her. But like, why would she want to give him a rose as a friend when he just made out with her and then was like, "I'm not interested in you"?
Right.
And so
Also,
then
like, how would that benefit her? He's like,
Right,
you have
exactly.
no options left. He's like, that's why it's dickish, because he's like, no, but you should be available to me if and when I decide I want you to be.
Right. Like, I feel like there are a couple ways that you could play this. You could be like, let's try to really mend the friendship. And if she has no one to give the rose to, maybe she'll give it to her best friend there. And in that case, you have to be like, "I'm sorry, you're right. We did have a really flirty time. I kissed you. And then I didn't clarify that I still see our connection as a friendship. I should have done that because obviously we do have some chemistry, but it's just not there for me. Let's focus on being friends because you're so great." Or you could say what you just said, like, "I was focused on Alex, so I wasn't really thinking about pursuing you. But now that I'm single, I do want to return to that bit of a spark that we found on our date, which is so like intriguing to me." And he does neither of those
Neither.
things. He's like, "To be clear, I'm not into you."
And I do expect you to give me your rose. We're good, right?
I'm like, "Do you want this door open or not?" It seems like not. So what was the purpose of this conversation?
he really pissed me off.
He
with,
wants to have a
with this
conversation where he
behavior.
both closes the door and also
secures the rose.
it leaves a little like flap door for the rose to be put through for him, but then the door
It's
itself is closed.
It's a little doggy door.
A
little doggy rose door.
It absolutely unhinged that he did this. This was the worst possible play.
God. At this exact moment, a man wanders down the beach, and I was like, oh, will it be a great prospect for our gal Jill? It's Shawn.
It's just Shawn. Everyone is like, Jill's going to have a boyfriend. But I'm sorry, Jill is everything, and he's just Shawn. He uses beef tallow as skincare.
I could not believe they did a little flashback to this must have been like his first season, like when he was on The Bachelorette. I had forgotten about this because beef tallow did not like hold the significance for me that it does now. Like now I know if you are trying to sell someone on beef tallow, you are probably Maha.
Yeah. He
I
was
didn't
on the
realize that
early
then.
Maha train. And Jill's like, wow, he looks so tan. And I'm thinking, is it because he's using beef tallow sunscreen? Spoiler, it doesn't work.
It's not sunscreen.
You're just kind of
Doesn't
grilling
screen
yourself.
any sun.
Doesn't screen the sun. Does not have broad spectrum coverage, SPF of maybe 4. And she's like, listen, I don't have a lot of options. So sure, he looks tan.
I'll
Looks
give him a chance.
He looks chiseled and manicured like a nice hedge. Also, she's desperate for a lick of attention from a man. And those are her words, more or less. He and Kat are apparently friends, like close
I guess from
friends.
Paradise.
Which wouldn't be surprising to me, except that later, doesn't he call her an actress? We've seen like preview clips of him like going after her.
Okay, so I guess we'll see what happens to like break up that friendship. Oh my God, you're so right. I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, I was
also,
like.
I will say, Shawn's less blonde hair is way better. His hair is darker and it's better. It's an improvement. I'm still not into him, but it's an improvement.
I guess he was getting highlights before. Alex catches his eye immediately, but he wants to move strategically. Like, he knows that if he goes for someone who has a good connection, he's very likely to end up on the chopping block. And he's looking around. He's like, Jill doesn't have anything going, so I'm going to ask her on the ATVing date. Jill is down. She's like, I really don't have any options. Sure, he seems like a super yacht guy. Maybe he can't get dirty. He's not going to be cut out for an ATVing date. Don't worry, production sends him out to do this sort of like alarming dream sequence in which he's smearing mud all over himself.
But honestly, they seem to have fun. Like, it's a fun date.
Yeah, they're ATVing. He does let himself get dirty. They have champagne in their filthy ATVing clothes afterwards. And he's like, we have really similar personalities, like where we both like to have fun. They really stand out in that respect. Most people aren't like that. And she tells him she needs someone who can be soft with her because she projects with humor and it's hard for her to let her walls down. And he's like, totally, I'm the exact same.
I was like, is this the humor in the room with us?
I was kind of startled to hear this from Shawn, but I'm really looking forward to hearing his routine, his material. And then there's an I Know What You Did Last Summer promo out of nowhere. Like, the segment starts with Jesse being chased by a hook-handed man who is Wells, and then he wakes up and it was all a dream, but then Wells is at the bar actually attacking a block of ice with a giant hook. And this turns out to be the skit setup for an exercise that is sponsored by the new film I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Honestly, I was fine with this. I was like, this is so deranged and they put so much effort into it that I think it's fine.
I mean, if it's this or Dale spraying sunscreen all over his dick, I'm going to go with the weird I Know What You Did Last Summer promo.
As I said last episode, Jesse has the skills.
Yeah. I also love the implication that Jesse ruined paradise last summer by going on a 6-month family vacation.
I was like, he deserves a 6-month family vacation. I also appreciate the implication that Wells might be a secret serial killer because I agree.
He sells it. So the exercise is about revealing your secrets because I guess that's something related to the film I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, yeah, they know.
It's in the title.
They know what you did.
And so everyone has to write down their biggest secret and put it in the box. And Jesse reads them out loud. They vote on who is the most shocking. And they do this in a way where he reads them one by one and they vote by majority rules whether each new one is more shocking than the one currently on the leaderboard. And I was kind of surprised by some of their choices. Like, there are some pretty shocking ones. Like, to me, erasing someone's name from a test and writing your own is way more shocking than vomiting on yourself in an Uber. But everyone's like, oh my God,
please.
that is so shocking. I was like, that's clearly just Kat. Kat is prone to motion sickness. Motion sickness is not shocking. Like, I've done that.
Also, it's not, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone told me even that they were like drunk vomiting in an Uber at 11 a.m. I'm like, yeah.
Compared
if
to
you're
cheating
like
on
20,
a
like,
test?
sure.
No one is shocked by the cheating on a test thing. And I was like, that would actually really change what I thought about a person. Projectile vomiting in an Uber, like, who hasn't? You know what I mean?
Does it change how you feel about Keith?
I mean, kind of. But like, it was a long time ago,
I think
you
it
know?
was
The Goldens
yeah.
are willing to admit to actually shocking things because it was
No,
a
I
long
love
time ago.
it.
No, what surprised me is that no one else seemed shocked by that at all. I'm very like honor code oriented. I'm like, people
Yeah,
trust
Claire.
you within an environment of learning. You took a vow.
Wow. I'm learning so much about you.
I did go to an honor code school. I don't know if he went to a school where they have like a whole honor code lore. But no one cares about that. For a long time, the vomiting in an Uber at 11 a.m. is the one that they leave up as if that is this like horrifying, shocking secret.
The only people who have good secrets are the Goldens, and
Right.
they're awesome.
Someone
I
found
wanted more on this one, which is that it appears to be April found $500,000 and kept it. I was
that
like,
is
how? Where? Also
insane. What do you
incredible.
mean? How do you find $500,000?
Did she find like a duffel bag full of cash? Because I love that for her.
If so, why are you revealing that on camera? They're gonna find you.
I
They've
know, I'm
probably been
concerned for
looking
you.
for whoever
For
had that duffel
years.
bag of cash
Maybe
for
she's
years.
like, it was like 20 years ago.
Did she just wake up and it was in her account? Did she find someone's crypto wallet? I don't really. That's an
You
insane
think
amount
April
of money
knows
to
how
find.
to use crypto?
I mean,
Maybe.
I don't
Maybe
think
she
that she
does.
found.
I don't know.
I think she made this up, is what I think. That to me seems like it would cause like a whole legal situation
Yeah,
if
it
you
is
suddenly
insane.
had
Okay. Also, yeah, how would
$500,000.
you report that on your taxes? I have a lot of questions.
Because I think here the thing is that no one's going to confirm this. You can write something that's really shocking that isn't true, right? As long as
Most
you're
of them
comfortable.
do seem true, but I need someone to ask April about this.
Right, because as long as you're comfortable having your name associated with that, then why not make up the most shocking thing you could think of? And that to me seems like something that won't make people think differently of you if it's revealed, but it's really shocking. I think that was a smart play if that's what she did. Someone spent a summer as a playmate for a female couple. This is
Love
RJ.
this for RJ.
And he's like, it was great. I got to have sex like all the time. It was amazing.
I mean, fuck yeah, RJ.
The winner is someone who slept with another person in their home while their partner was in another room.
I was like, Tom Sandoval. It's not
Tom
Tom
is here.
Sandoval. It's Kathy.
Everyone is so horrified. She never gives any context. I was like, what? Like, were you swingers? Like, were you in an open relationship? Is this just semantics and you were like sleeping in the bed with like your child and like your partner was in the other room? You know what I mean? Like,
or was this just like you were super young? I was like in college or high school and like, yeah.
Right. Like, I need context. That is kind of shocking. I would like to know more, but we get no more context for any of the interesting secrets.
Certainly don't.
After this, Jessie gives Kathy an opportunity to claim her prize by revealing herself, and she finally does at the last minute, and the prize is the key to the VIP suite. So afterwards, they're all mingling and flirting. Captain Kim is really going hard for April by standing behind her, giving her a shoulder rub, and whispering into her ear things like, I'm good at keeping secrets.
Like,
what
gets
about
really
you?
Close. Like, I'm good at keeping secrets. What about you? I was like, oh my God, get the fuck away from her, Captain Kim.
To me, like, when you stand behind a woman that you're interested in and you rub her shoulders and murmur in her ear, it's giving creepy boss. It's
I was
giving
just gonna
sexual
say it's giving
harassment.
sex predator at work.
That's not like, do we just think that because an older generation of men did that to court when they were young and they just stuck with that move, but our generation of men don't do it, so we associate it with creepy bosses?
Maybe. I
'Cause
I
she
couldn't.
doesn't seem
Yeah, she seems fine.
But at
Jack,
around
however, is stressed.
Jack is stressed because he's really into April, or as he calls her, the blonde.
I was like, Jack, she has a name.
She has a name, April. Around the 9 to 10 hour, all of the Goldens start turning in for bed. Jack is stressed, and he's like, I thought I was going to have more time, basically tonight, to get to know these people. There's a rose ceremony coming up, but I guess I just have to like have my game face on during the day. And he complains to RJ about how the captain was hitting on the blonde, and RJ is like completely unfazed. He's like, that's the game. Like, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, RJ's like, please.
You got to play the game. April heads to bed, and as she goes, she tells Jonathan, second door to the right if you need me. And he laughs, but he seems kind of deeply thrown and put off.
Oh, he's like, he finds this like horrifying to the point where he's like, I have to tell everyone.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, this shocking thing just happened. April just told me where her room was. And
I felt
Teresa
like
hears
it
this
was-
and is like, I love that. Can we come? And at this point, he clearly decides that it's like fine and he can like laugh about it in like
Yeah.
a not horrified way.
I was like, did he feel harassed by this? I feel like she was meant it sort of as like a harmless throwaway. Like,
Right. It seemed like
just like,
more
if
like
anyone
a
needs
joke.
me, second door to the right. Yeah, I felt like it was
Right.
a joke. Very much
Like,
a joke.
it wasn't like, please come to my room. I'm expecting you.
No.
I don't know.
Whatever.
And then in the moment, he says, my sweet, sweet April, I knew there was a lot of nature in Costa Rica, but I didn't realize there was going to be so many cougars.
Again, get a better line, dude. Get a better joke. If you're gonna make jokes about people's ages, at least make them creative. We've heard the cougar jokes. They're not funny.
I'm not interested in listening to these young guys like making fun of the seniors for
Zero.
not being under 30.
Zero interested.
Like you literally don't have to go to her room. Like
She
it's-
was joking.
like
She's going to sleep.
she's going to sleep.
My God.
She's like, literally, if you need me for something, that is where I am, but I am going to sleep.
Yeah, she's like, it's 9:30. It's my bedtime. I'm
Same,
done.
girl.
Same.
I'm
Same.
tired. I'm so excited for Love Island to be over so I can start observing bedtime again. Kathy is ready to hit that VIP suite, and she asks Keith to go with her. I love this.
Keith.
I will allow him to try to find love again, even though he broke honor code. And he says yes. On his way up, Jack offers him Viagra, and Keith demurs.
Keith is like, no, thank you.
And Jack is like, every golden man should have some Viagra, sildenafil, any of the above. I get that stuff all the time. It's better to be prepared. I think it was a very kind offer, but, you know,
Yeah.
Keith knows what's best for Keith.
Yeah, Keith is like, I don't know that we're necessarily going to have sex in the VIP suite. I think we're just having champagne.
And you know what? Not every man over 60 needs it.
Also true. We don't know his situation.
We don't know his situation. I'm not going to presume.
Also, Keith is like, I have daughters watching. Please
yeah,
stop.
I'm not going to
Jack.
be taking just like
budget
free-
Viagra from this
free
random man.
I'm not going to be getting like erection pills passed off to me from the pocket of my co-star on camera.
So Keith heads up to the suite with Kathy, Viagra-less, and they explore the gorgeous duplex suite. They pop champagne. They get into the hot tub. They play Never Have I Ever. They like start doing swim races. They eat chocolate-covered strawberries. They are having the best time. And Kathy's only concern is that he might pee in the hot tub. But in Keith's defense, there's no evidence that he is doing that.
Like, you never want to think that a man might be peeing in the hot tub with you. But he seems like a really nice guy and a gentleman. Downstairs, Andrew surmises that Keith and Kathy are probably reading the Bible up in their suite because, again, if you're over the age of 40, you are definitely only ever reading the Bible and not doing anything disgusting and sinful like sex. And Dale's like, someone's getting clapped. And they're all like, oh my God, no.
You all need to calm down.
They're so wrinkly. We learn about Keith's secret on this date. He does confide this in Kathy. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're going to like lose your chemical engineering degree. And he's like, no, it was a really long time ago.
He's like, I don't think they can take away my diploma at this point.
He's like basically got to be almost retired, if
Yeah.
not retired. Kathy says that she lost her husband 6 years ago and he'd want her to find her guy. And Keith is super. He likes to have fun, but also deep talks, just
I
like
love
her.
Keith. I
They're
really love
they're
Keith.
a fun pair. I feel like he brings out like a good side in her and like vice versa. Like they seem to be really chill together.
I'm into it. Back downstairs, Jonathan is gearing up to make another absolutely disastrous half play for Jill's rose.
This is like Jonathan
Egregious.
he's a mess. He's like, this is my last shot. She's my last shot at a rose. So I've got
just what every girl wants.
At
to
least
be a
he's
last-ditch effort.
At least he's not hiding it that much.
He's trying to.
He like approaches her at the bar and like whispers in her ear that he's sorry. And she's like, it's whatever, it's fine. Like my feelings weren't hurt. I was just frustrated. And Jonathan is like, well, I misspoke. I feel like I'm not allowed to misspeak. Like that's not okay with you if I misspeak. And she's like, what? I never said that. What's happening?
So
it just like
take a turn quickly.
I feel like he actually comes into this not really to make a play. Like he thinks he's coming into this to try to get the rose, but what he really wants to do deep down is get mad at her for the way that she reacted during their last conversation. Like he wants her to kind of apologize to him, actually. And she's not interested in that. And so things quickly get heated. She's like trying to move on. She's like, it's water under the bridge. It's fine. And he's like, oh, so you just don't want to understand my position. I understand you and your position, but you don't understand me and you're not even trying. I'm really trying. I had such good intent this whole time. And she's like, clearly like, why am I having this conversation that I don't wish to be having? Like, where did this come from? Why am I here? It's like, buddy, if you were together and she was like holding back hurt feelings and wouldn't talk about them, then I could understand trying to press the conversation. But you're not together. There's no reason that she has to work this out with you. She can just
this
be
whole
like,
thing is just so deranged. I feel like we just have to listen to a clip of some of the tenor of this discussion.
Okay, so I'm understanding you, but you're like refusing to like understand where I'm coming from.
I can't understand something that doesn't make sense.
Okay, see, that's not a fair way to do it, because I can tell you yours doesn't make sense all day. I want to make sure that you're okay. That was my intent.
I'm
from the
gonna be
beginning.
okay, babe.
Because you
I'm a
came to
grown
me
woman.
crying in a bed
Okay.
about how you felt. So I'm going to be there to make sure you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
And now I
Thank you
still
for
want
that
to make sure
moment.
you're okay.
I'm not asking you for that.
You don't have to ask me for it. I want to do it for you.
I hated this. I hated every second of it, and it just like won't end. Finally, Jill is just looking at him. She's like, why are you sad? What is the emotion? Why do you look like you're going to cry? And he's like, because I am. And she finally says, what's the goal for this conversation? Spoiler alert, there is no goal that he wishes to state.
no, the goal is for him to get a rose. And like, again, to come in to this conversation and be like, accept my apology and accept that I'm a nice guy who's there for you, or else is not gonna get him there. Like
Certainly not.
He wants to spin this like he's doing this for her to feel better. Well, she's not upset. And
She's
so
just
now you
over
are just now you are just like embroiling her in a conversation that is actually making her night more unpleasant. So what are you really trying to get out of this? It's to make himself look more like the nice guy, hopefully get the rose from her. And neither of those things is going to be accomplished because it's so obvious that he is trying to force a redemption arc for himself onto this conversation that she is not like entertaining because it's not what she wants. Like she's not interested in this. I'm just like, again, you could have come to her with like a genuine apology, but it's clear that he was giving one of those apologies that's like, I'm sorry. Is there anything you'd like to say?
And she's like, nope,
Nope.
not really.
It's like an apology and like a here is what I think about you and what I want for our connection going forward, and not I'm sorry. And also, I think that you are kind of handling this in a really shitty way. That's not going to get you a result. So why are you doing it?
It's so
Meanwhile, everyone's just like
obnoxious.
watching,
Oh my God. Everyone is like,
rapt.
oh no, our boy is not doing well. Dale is like whispering, like, the tea is so good. He's getting so defensive. And Jeremy is like, I think Jonathan may have stretched himself too thin. And now the fact that he tried to just keep things friendly with Jill is going to bite him in the butt.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, why are you going on the date, making it so clear that it's friendly? Like, you could have had a door open if that's what you wanted. You could have gone on the date and been like,
Right.
I'm focused on Alex, but you seem so cool. There's a lot you bring to the table. And then when Alex dumps you, you can turn to Jill and be like, now that that connection didn't work out, I'd really like to explore because our date was so amazing. And at every point, you set yourself up in the wrong direction, and now you're paying the price. Jonathan goes to his in the moment and is like, Jill was my last shot, so I don't know what I'm going to do. And then a producer has a bright idea. What about April? And Jonathan?
He seems intrigued.
He's like, yeah, what about April?
And that is where we end. We get a little preview of next week. We see Kathy doing some body shots, April touching Jonathan's six-pack for a little shades of MILF Manor. And there are 2 new arrivals. We don't know who they are. 3 men are going home. Kat and Dale are going to get into a fight. And Dale is going to tell Kat that she reminds him of his ex. Yikes.
That's a good way to fight. This like the minute that they're pissing you off, just be like, reminds me of
That's just like my bitch ex.
That's just like my bitch ex. That's why I dumped her.
So trouble in paradise there. And that brings us to love to see it, hate to see it. Let's start with hate to see it.
Oh my God, it's such a long list.
Oops, we can skip over some things.
Paradise is back, baby. We hate a lot of stuff.
And we love a lot of stuff.
Let's start with men being given power. We do hate that.
I hate it. I also hate that Brian thinks he can clown on Zoe or literally anyone. Sir, where do you get the audacity?
At the Audacity store, I guess. Zoe coming off as unsympathetic somehow out of all of this. I also hated to see that. I wanted a better arc for Zoe this season, but she was not doing herself many favors.
I think we also hated to see the obvious emotional pain that Susie and Justin were in, chatting with each other. And of course, the fact that both of them went home so early. Just true talent wasted.
Complete waste. This season, like, they're just like throwing in their
Burning
stars
through.
like chum, burning through them. It's a waste. I hated to see the promotion of beef tallow as skincare.
I mean, yeah. Also hated to see Jeremy's unhinged entitled crash out. We were rooting for you, Jer.
Oh, this is what happens when you like give any positive attention from men to men.
You
from
simply
this
can't do it.
franchise. They become so entitled. They're like, some people thought that I was charming on a TV show. Now I get to pick out whichever women from Bachelor Nation I want, like from a catalog. I also hated to see Jeremy joking about prune juice, Jonathan joking about cougars. I think at one point, Shawn joked about Cialis.
Wells made an ageist joke too. And I'm going to say, none of these ageist jokes were even original or funny. You can't do ageism and also not be funny. Okay? It's just offensive.
I'm okay with ageism, but I draw the line at stale jokes. That's where I'm saying I'm putting an end to this. We also hated to see, honestly, just the constant use of the Goldens as comic relief and the way that they're kind of like,
I hated it,
infantilized in this way. Like, oh, older people kissing, drinking, like having sex. Absolutely not. They don't do that. They're over 40. Like, it's absurd. It's exhausting. Like, there's so much other stuff I want to focus on this season, and it makes me think less of everyone who participates in it, honestly.
Put some fucking respect on these absolute goddamn stars who are saving this franchise. How dare you?
Leslie had Prince write a song about her, and Usher fed her a cherry.
And Kenny G asked her out on a date.
I'm sorry, you think that you're wilder than Leslie?
No,
think again.
Truly. Also hated to see Jonathan trying to get a friend rose out of Jill and like not giving a fuck about whether she has any interest in doing that or not.
Well, she's just a rose vending machine over there, and he does not have the right coins. I also hated to see the heel turns of just about every guy we liked on this season.
Except Spencer.
Yeah. And we barely see Spencer. He is hiding somewhere with Jess, just like murmuring sweet nothings and getting all the goss. And I really hated to see the lack of viable prospects for BIP's greatest sapiosexual, Jill. There are no sapients here. These men are not sapient.
Absolutely not. But we do have some things we love to see. I personally fucking love to see the use of flashback footage, especially when it is deployed to drag some of these men.
Yes. We also love to see the return of like the chyrons, the snarky lower thirds. Like the formatting may be different, but we love getting those little jokes back. Thank you so much.
We also love some actual drama, some love triangles, arguments, crash outs. I mean, it can be depressing and it can make us start to low-key hate people we thought we liked, but it is interesting. Do it for the plot, and they're doing it.
Do it for the plot. I kind of love to see an actual makeout challenge. I think we need more makeouts. This is paradise. This is not Prude Island. Like, we need some action. Let's mix it up. Let's put all those singles in a jar and just like shake them around, you know, see what rubs together.
I love to see the Goldens. What an incredible cast, especially the women. April was truly lab engineered for Paradise, as was Kathy. I'm excited to see more of Leslie. Ugh, love it.
Yeah, they really did kind of turn things around. Bailey and Alex being hot commodities in Paradise, I do love that. They're delightful. I'm loving seeing them get attention. Not so happy with how things went for Bailey this week. But I feel like she should have options.
Also, love to see Jill. Just everything about our gal Jill. She is perfect. She is hilarious. She deserves the world.
And I love when someone comes on the show that I like and they don't immediately make me question my own judgment. You know?
Exactly.
Instead, I'm just like, yeah, you know what, Claire? You were so right. She is hilarious.
You are a great judge of character, Claire. What are our OG vibes for these episodes out of 10 iguanas?
Oh, for me, this was an improvement in the OG BIP vibes now that we're getting into the love triangles, the geometry, the crash outs, the
lower thirds,
the dampness, because it is raining all the time and they're always dripping somehow. You know, that's bringing me back.
Also creatures. There was a bat.
Yeah. I'm loving getting those chyrons back. To me, this was up to like a 6.
Okay. Yeah.
I
love it. I agree.
You?
I think I'm also probably at a 6. And that's not a reflection of how much I liked these episodes, because I actually really enjoyed these episodes. But yeah, it's like hitting that like sweet spot of like a 6 to 7, giving those OG BIP vibes while also feeling different enough.
Yeah, I think my problem with this batch of episodes was that it took a while to get going. I think by the 3rd hour of Monday night's episode, I was starting to really get into the storylines.
But now we're in it. Now we're in it, Claire.
Yeah, but I'm like 5 hours and I really only enjoyed 2.5 of them. That's not a great hit rate. I would like to see it get a little tighter, a little more engaging. But we're into the season. It's starting to click, and I'm ready.
And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon and Emma Gray. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Dester.
If you like our show, remember to follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, spread the word to all of your friends about Love to See It.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and on Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. And you can find our newsletter Rich Text on Substack at claireandemma.substack.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at Emma Lady Rose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey: Eric Donnelly, Aaron Constantino, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, Carly Snyder, and Hillary Schultz.
We'll be back next week.